Welcome everybody to Hobbs basketball action. This is a JV game where we are in the third quarter, minute 35 remaining. It is Clovis up 43-39. The lead has changed. It was, first quarter was 18-11. Hobbs had the lead. And halftime had a 5-point lead for Hobbs, 31-26. Third quarter has been mostly Clovis. Covering this until the end, and then we're going to go ahead and get the varsity game on with your Hobbs Eagles versus the Clovis Wildcats. Should be a good game. It's the second game of the district. Hobbs needs a win. So does Clovis. I think Clovis did get their first victory against Carlsbad, but still, you always want to win the games, especially in district. Clovis is in the top 10. And Hobbs is, I think, 21 last time we checked as far as standings or in the ranking. No, they're 20th. Roswell is 21st. So Hobbs definitely needs to get improve their record, improve their chances in the playoffs by getting more victories in district. They have 5 more games left, as you know. And then the district tournament comes up after that. Every game is crucial, and this one is definitely crucial. 45-41, minute 14 remaining in this third quarter for the JV. Hobbs down by 4. I'll be back in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and talk about our sponsors, the ones that are nice enough to sponsor us, keep us on the air, not only here, but on the internet, you know. We have it on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Hobbs Sports channel, as well as Cool 95.7 on the Facebook page. I'd like to thank First American Bank of Hobbs, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, Elite Home Healthcare, Lee County State Bank, Lasco Construction, the Coffee House, TDS, along with Thriftway, Innomar Pipeline, Devon Energy, The Model, Embersand Media and Design, Hydrotech Services, and Divine Energy Services. Thank you very much for keeping us on the air. We'll be back in just a moment. fourth quarter is about to begin for the JV Hobbs Eagles versus Clovis JV Wildcats. And that third quarter was a big letdown for Hobbs, as that was a 21-10 thumping from Clovis after they had an 18-11 lead in the first. Went to the halftime with a 31-26 lead, 5 points. Like I said, then got outscored 21-10, making it 47-41 for Hobbs, trailing right now in the fourth quarter. Going to have the varsity right after this on all the Normark internet channels. So keep it right here. We'll also have it on the radio too, Cool 95.7. As soon as we know, we will let you know when the game is about to start. We're going to get into the fourth quarter action right now, so we'll keep you updated as it goes. Got some girls hoops action going on in Artesia, as it is in the third quarter. Leamington trailing by 1 against the hosting Artesia Lady Bulldogs. The score 32-33, Artesia up by 1. Meanwhile, still 6:28 to go. It was 49-43. Hobbs trailing by 6 to the Clovis Wildcat JV game, or team. As we are setting up for our varsity game tonight. Definitely have that on the air, both on the radio as well as on the internet. Looks like that was a nice little trip in the back for a foul. Second one for Clovis. So Hobbs could be getting into the bonus if that continues to happen. That'll help them out possibly if they can get some free throws. Still down by 6 with 6:10 to go in this game. Got to hear from some of the boys varsity team about their favorites. One of them we talked about was their favorite NBA teams. Beatty was as a favorite for Boston Celtics. Actually, Lyric Soria does not have a team that he likes the best. That's fine. For Nick Pena, it is the LA Clippers. That's a good team. They've been doing pretty well this year. Golden State Warriors are favored among a couple of them, Josiah Clay and Jamie Cano, as well as Jairus Triviatis and Braylon Vega. They also like the Golden State Warriors. Can't blame them. I never really liked them. I mean, I respect them. They did really well, and they've been struggling, but they still are in the playoff hunt. Abraham Pena likes the Phoenix Suns. I did like them. I still like them, sort of, but my team is Oklahoma City Thunder. 53-43, Clovis up by 10. Hobbs needs to get back into this game with 4:41 remaining. Looks like they may be going to the line. No, they're just going to get that foul, as it'll be inbounded by Hobbs. Once again, 53-43, Clovis up by 10. 4:41 remaining in the game. And this is the JV action. It's a bad pass, a bad inbound. Clovis took advantage of it and now are up by 12. Another bad pass. 3-point shot, drains. And now that is a 15-point lead for Clovis, as we get a timeout on the court. Let's see, it has been Clovis in the second half, as it was 31-26 at the halftime. Right now, it has been 11-2 run for Clovis over Hobbs. That does not win you ball games, that's for certain. You know, an update. Tatum is winning the girls. Tatum girls, they've been doing really well this year. 37-14 over Hagerman. And that is, I believe, the half. Yes, it is at halftime. Tatum girls winning. I believe they've only lost one game this season. It's amazing. They've been doing really, really well. We'll come back in just a moment to update you on the scores, what's going on, and when we're going to start the varsity game. It is going to be running a little late, but it will be on the radio on Cool 95.7. Check it out. And also, of course, you can find out more on the YouTube channel on HobbsAmerica.com, as well as on Cool 95.7's Facebook page. Got a minute 40 left in this JV game with Hobbs versus Clovis. The Wildcats are up, unfortunately, 63-47. They've been up since the third quarter and have expanded the lead. Now this is about the biggest they've had. And with about a minute 35 remaining, it's going to be unlikely that Hobbs can be able to pull it off and get back into it, especially if they're going to be playing stall ball like they're doing right now. Hobbs cannot afford to foul them, give them more points, although neither one is in bonus right now. Actually, that was now 4. So either team getting one more foul, not being an offensive foul, will put them into bonus, which means they'll be shooting 2 for the rest of the game. But again, a minute 20 left. And a 16-point lead for Clovis over your Hobbs JV Eagles. Hobbs actually did have the lead at one point at the half. It was 31-26, they had a 5-point lead. But it was whittled away in the third. And after this, we will have the varsity game on all the No Mark broadcasting stations, whether it be on Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Also have it on, we got an injured player for Wildcats. Also on YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com. What is a miss? Go back in just a moment to let you know what's going on. Right here, as we are at the legendary Ralph Tasker Arena. Another thing we talked about during when I got to talk to some of the players, they were asked about their favorite athlete, and they had many different variety of, well, actually mostly with basketball. I expected that. One of them was, at least one was a football player. But they said the likes of Stephon Curry. 2 of them had that answer. You see that was Josiah Clay and Jimmy Cano. And that is the game. Final score 64-49. Hobbs falls to the Clovis Wildcats JV game. – 17-8 was the fourth quarter score. Hobbs trailed after during the third. Were outscored 21-10 in the third and outscored 17-8 in the fourth. They only had 18 points in the second half compared to 38 for Clovis. Continuing with favorite athletes, Nick Pena said his favorite was LeBron James. And we also have a final score for you for the girls. Varsity for Artesia beating Levington by 5. Final score Artesia 50, Levington 45. I knew that'd be a close game. Both of them are very well played, very well coached. But it was Artesia who came back after having, actually no, it was just a first quarter lead for Levington, 14-11. Halftime saw Artesia up by 2, 24-22. Third quarter ended 33-32. It was just a 1-point game. And then the fourth quarter, Artesia was able to hold on to that lead, extended to 5. 50-45 was the final there. As the teams are now, varsity teams are coming out to warm up. Okay. So, like I said, Stephon Curry was popular with a couple. So I thought there was more. Oh, yeah. Soria also liked Stephon Curry. C.D. Lamb was chosen by Beatty. Broderick Bailey? Beatty? I was trying to say his first name right. I got his last name wrong. And then, let's see. Devin Booker, that was Abraham Pena's favorite player. Dennis Rodman, I can't believe you said that, but that was Jairus Triviates. I didn't think anybody knew any would even be close to naming somebody like Dennis Rodman, who was never my favorite player. But he was out there, and he did make the most of what he could do. Going back just a moment. Oh, yeah, we have just over 18 minutes to go before the game gets started. Get you in pregame real soon on the radio as well as on the internet. And it'll be me and your friend, my friend, Ty Friend, right here. Keep it tuned in.
Welcome, everyone, to Tasker Arena. Time for Hobbs Eagle basketball live on the radio, Cool 95.7, on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Ty Friend here with Ron Gunner and Evie Stuber back at the station. Ron, big game for the Hobbs Eagles, kind of a revenge matchup here as they lost last week, or actually a couple days ago, Tuesday, to Roswell by double digits. Now they have to try to get that district record even up at 1-1, and they're here at their happy confines of Tasker Arena as they take on the Clovis Wildcats, a team that's much improved over the last few seasons. They are currently ranked 9th in the Max Preps Bowl, so not the same type of situation we've seen the last couple of years.
That's true. I mean, Hobbs has got a 7-game winning streak against this Clovis Wildcat team, but this is not, like you said, the Wildcats that we've known from the past. They actually are pretty good. They're in the top 10. They can do some damage. They've got a great record. Hobbs needs to get back in the winning column, as well as just to get 500 at this point, and to get any kind of notice to be in the playoffs. And just got to play lights out, just Hobbs basketball, be able to start and finish it with the same kind of intensity, energy, however you want to call it, because they need to come out here swinging, and they got to play to win, and they cannot afford to do anything less than that.
Yes, right now 8-13. You mentioned not very many games left in district. 5 games, I believe it is, correct?
Right,
that could make it right to 500, and that's kind of an iffy, as you mentioned, for the playoffs. So we'll have to wait and see how that transpires. Clovis currently at 14-6. Of course, they beat Carlsbad by double digits here this past Tuesday, so they're on a big one-game winning streak, at least in the district. Hobbs, of course, had a tight game with Roswell Tuesday night. Ended up being 67-55 as the Coyotes got the win. I think the two big critical differences in the game, first of all, turnovers. Unbelievable number for Hobbs, 29 total.
Right.
Just kind of continue to add on to each other, and kind of an ugly situation there. Roswell only had 8, so 21 more turnovers for the Hobbs Eagles. The other situation, free throws. Eagles were only 2 for 5 in the game. That means 5 total attempts, 40% there. And the other side for Roswell, definitely complete more free throws, 13 of 23. Only shot 56%, but that's a total of 18 more free throw attempts.
Yeah, missed more than Hobbs even tried to attempt, and it seemed like on that side of the equation, it was just one-sided, a lopsided victory for Roswell. In the third quarter, they just could not sink a single free throw. They got maybe 2 or 3 at the most during that time. Then they got it back up in the fourth quarter, be able to get more of those free throws to drop in. Still, Hobbs just not going to the line at all, and when they did, they weren't doing as well as they hoped to. So they need to work on that. Also, play like Roswell did. Look, Roswell came out looking like Hobbs of old with the press, and they were stealing the ball. They were making sure they were getting those quick 2-point shots, the fast break points, and it just looked like it was Hobbs playing Hobbs. And unfortunately, the one that was dressed as Roswell ended up getting that victory.
Yeah, it was a close game at half. Hobbs actually up by a deuce, 36-34. The Eagles getting 13 in the third, and the same for Roswell. So Hobbs still held on to that 2-point lead into the fourth, 49-47. But again, as you mentioned, that fourth quarter is a whole different story. The difference was 20-6 in the fourth quarter, and that put the W in the column of Roswell. Of course, the Roswell Coyotes will play Carlsbad tonight. That's game 2 of their district schedule, and I'll see how things wash out there. Eagles managed to get 16 from Abraham Payne. He's been the top scorer all season. Had a couple of trays, perfect on the line, 2 for 2. Kind of messing with some foul trouble in that contest, but was able to stay for the duration of the ball game. Jairus Turbiatis, 14 points and 6 rebounds. So he definitely was a guy on the glass for the Eagles, but those are the only 2 in double digits. They combined for 30. Hobbs was kind of hobbled in that game, at least 2 illnesses and 1 ankle injury. Right. Question mark for Javen Hernandez, as they don't know how long he's going to have to sit out for that. They thought he might be able to go tonight, but it doesn't look like he's warming up right now. They also had Vega that was sick under the weather on that game against Roswell. He did play in that contest, but only had 5 points, so it definitely brought his production down. Right. And of course, we had another big man that was sitting in that game, Malachi David. He came back to school finally today, but he's been battling the sickness for a couple of days, so remains to be seen. And the same with Pena. Those two, David and Pena, both had illnesses. So I know a lot of COVID going around, the flu also. It's kind of a tough situation. Teams are just waiting to see who's going to have to sit out a game probably. Yeah,
and unfortunately, these things do happen. You don't always expect your players to be healthy, whether it be injury, sickness, or just whatever happens. Things happen, and you got to adjust to it. Unfortunately, they did not during the Roswell game. They need to do it today. And luckily, though, or better for worse, there is the tall kid for Clovis that is out. J.J. Jones, he won't be playing simply because he's got his arm in a cast. So we won't have to worry about him. However, Clovis is ready. I'm sure they've been playing without him for a little while, and they know how to adjust. Hobbs needs to do the same thing if they want to get this victory tonight.
Well, of course, we did mention that the Clovis Wildcats defeated Carlsbad by double digits on Tuesday to go to 1-0 in district. They've also had some great production from Marvin Cox. Against Rio Rancho, he had 20 points and 7 rebounds, 13 against Goddard in a 70-32 blowout. Cox had 7 rebounds against Lovington, one of his lower offensive productions of the season. Didn't have double digits in that game. Scored 25 against Las Cruces in a 4-point win. They lost to La Cueva, one of the top teams in the state, only by 5 points. Cox had a double-double in that game, 15 points and 10 rebounds. Against Los Alamos, 16 points. So you can see a trend here. Marvin Cox is the go-to guy for their scoring for this Clovis Wildcat team. Of course, he played against the Eagles last year. Even in the 2 losses they had against Hobbs, 74-56 and 88-68. Eagles winning big in both of those. He had 27 in the first game, 2 3-pointers, and then also had 16, second leading scorer in game 2 here at Tasker Arena. So that kid is coming back. They got about 5 other players that have scored in that games, those 2 games last year. Kalen Parker's another guy. They have the J.J. Jones kid, which you found out is out with an injury in this game, so he will not play. Also, Gutierrez returns to the team. All those guys did see some scoring against the Eagles last year in the 2 games.
Yeah, and we're looking at the comparative scoring or comparative opponents, and they've had 4, but Hobbs has not fared as well as Clovis has, with 3-1 for Clovis. Hobbs, of course, 1-3, but they have both won against Las Cruces. It was 63-52 for Hobbs, while it was just a smaller version, or a smaller victory for Clovis, 59-55. So maybe that'll factor in, maybe not, but that was early in the season for Clovis, late for Hobbs. So you never know what's going to happen, but again, this is the reason why they play the games.
Yeah, if you look at the common opponents in the top 20, number 14, Rio Rancho, Clovis beat them by 21. Hobbs lost to Rio Rancho by 2. That's a big difference there. Las Cruces, Clovis won by 4. Hobbs beat Las Cruces by 11 here at home, so that's a benefit for the Eagles. Their other common opponent, Oregon Mountain, who's ranked 2nd in the Max Preps poll. Both teams losing to them by double digits, 17 for Clovis and 13 for the Eagles, who did a little bit better against that Oregon Mountain team. That game was in Las Cruces. They lost to number 8 La Cueva by 5, so that's a pretty close game. Atrisco Heritage lost by 8 in that one back on January 20th. They're ranked 4th in the state. And those are some of the bigger games that they've had this year. They're 7-3 against 5A, 6-1 against 4A. And against Texas teams, 0-2. They lost to Hereford and also another Texas squad in Tascosa, Amarillo. And they are 1-0 against 3A teams. Currently ranked 9th in the Max Preps poll. Clovis at 14-6. Your Hobbs Eagles at 8-13. Sit at number 20. I should mention, Ron, Hobbs with a 15.7 strength of schedule. That is better than 7 of the 10 top 10 teams in this 5A division. That could tell you something about how tough their opponents have been this year.
Yeah, and other than the fact that they had a little bit of injury problems or sickness, we were expecting them to come out against Roswell, play their best. This didn't happen, unfortunately, but maybe tonight they can reclaim their territory. They're out on their home court with Ralph Tasker, and the 6th man. So maybe they can come out here, be able to play as strong as they can, or we know they can, and be able to get a victory against the Wildcats of Clovis.
Look at the starters in the game tonight for Clovis. Kalen Parker, Manuel Gutierrez, J.J. Sias, Marvin Cox, and Johnny Molina. About 3 of those guys did play against the Eagles last year. And for your Hobbs Eagles, it's Braylon Vega, Abraham Pena, Jairus Turbiatis, Malachi David, and Parker Henderson. One guy we did not mention that got some time in that game on Tuesday.
20 seconds unless you need more time.
We're back at Tasker Arena, ready for Hobbs Eagle District basketball action. Your Eagles taking on the Clovis Wildcats, game number 2 of District. And we were mentioning that the 2 teams, of course, played last year. Hobbs 2-0 in that matchup. Those matchups 74-58 and 88-68 in that first game. Mackey was the big scorer with 30, but Abraham Pena had 19 points, and also Braylon Vega finished with 13. Those two combined for 4 3-pointers. Vega had 3 of them and 32 points, so definitely some good production out of those two, second and third leading scorer. Hobbs had 5 trays in that game, and we're 11 of 24 from the free throw line. We already mentioned Marvin Cox. He scored 27 in that contest, so he definitely was the big go-to guy in that game. It's game number 2, Eagles winning by 20 points. Mackey again, big-time scoring, 51. I believe that was breaking a record last year here at Tasker Arena. Definitely shooting the lights out there. Pena finished with 17, including 2 trays. Turbiata saw some point production. He had 6 in the game. Vega had 5 and a 3-pointer. And Parker Henderson hit a bucket for 2. Hobbs had 7 trays in that game and 11 steals and shot 19 of 23 from the free throw line. Once again, Marvin Cox had 16. But the Gooden kid, he had 22 to lead the Wildcats in that one. He's back this year. Parker had 10 points. And Gutierrez was 6. They were perfect on the line, the Wildcats, in game 2. 8 for 8, but they end up losing by 20 to the Hobbs Eagles. So Hobbs 2-0 against the Wildcats last year. A little bit tougher purple and white squad this year. Again, ranked number 9, as we mentioned already with some of the wins they had. In a recent game against Atrisco, they lost by 8. Atrisco is ranked in the top 5 right now. Clovis was kind of neck and neck with them. Both teams shot 39% from three-point range. Clovis also 71% from the charity stripe, so pretty much hanging with some of the top teams in the state this year.
Yeah, they are, and it's going to be interesting to see which team comes out for Hobbs. We already know Clovis is going to come out here and play their best. Like you said, ranked 9th. You can't expect them to come out here and just kind of half anticipate them to be able to not win. They're definitely coming out here to try to win. They did well against Carlsbad. Carlsbad's a hard team to beat, especially in Carlsbad, and now they got it here. And you know what? I'm just expecting to see Hobbs come out here, play their best. And Clovis, yeah, you know they're going to.
Looks like Clovis is kind of waiting right now for the Eagles to get introduced. They will be wearing the black uniforms, purple numbers, and some white trim around those. Eagles in their home uniforms, black numbers and gold trim. We should mention in the practice today before this game, Coach Ross out on the court with his team running through some last-second plays. He told the squad at the end of the huddle there that don't worry about mistakes. You make a mistake or maybe 2 or 3 of them, you get right back, play some defense. That's the bread and butter of this team. Get those turnovers and go the other direction in the transition game, but don't sit around and sulk about mistakes.
Yeah, definitely don't let it get you down. Don't overwhelm you with it. Just look, you know what? We all make mistakes from time to time. You just get over it, move on, because the next one is going to be a good one.
We mentioned Marvin Cox being a pretty deadly scorer for Clovis, but he has a brother named Jaden Cox. He's had several games of double digits, too. He scored 13 against Goddard. 3 players scored 13 in that game. 15 against Alamogordo in a very close win, 57-55. So a couple other guys will step up for the Wildcats if you let them. The jump for Parker Henderson, clean into the front court, and right to the rack goes Vega with the layup on the right side. That's a way to start things. The Taskovich band haven't even stopped their playing of their starting song yet either. It's 2-0. Clovis in the front court, dribbling around the left wing, holding on, waiting for the deep offensive setup. Parker underneath the hoop, windmill layup underneath, left to right, no good. Rebound for Henderson. Outlet to the near side to Pena, backdoor to Vega. Another layup attempt, this from the left side of the lane. He gets hammered hard, falls into the baseline, does a somersault. They get a foul on Clovis for the first one, and boy, Eagles starting out quick, Ron.
They are. We were hoping they would get this Eagle intensity. They are doing it right now, and they definitely need to keep it up if they want to get this victory. But so far, heading on the right foot.
Manuel Gutierrez with the foul, first on the Wildcats, and on the line will be Vega, trying to extend the lead to 4 if he can get both free throws here. Takes it through dribbles, and he took a hard shot to the hardwood there a second ago. Puts it through the net easily. Of course, he was sick in the last game, only had 5 points, but hopefully get back on track in this one. Vega came into the contest shooting 72% from the free throw line, 24 of 33. Did not get one against Roswell. Second free throw good as well. 4 points for Vega, all for the Eagles at this point. 4-0 score with 7:35 left first quarter. Pass a couple across the timeline to Parker. He'll spot a 3 from the left side and swishes it. No defender out there. And then kind of puts his arms up to the Hobbs Eagles student section. Not a smart move. They'll be on your backside the rest of the game doing that stuff. 4-3, Hobbs by 1 here in the first quarter. Coming across the timeline is Pena. He's got defender at the top of the arc, Parker. Over to Turbiatas on the right wing. Pivots, dumps it down low to David on the right block. Spins left, kick to Henderson at the free throw line. Jay on the way, hits the front of the rim, no good. And a rebound for Clovis, middle of the paint by Marvin Cox. Outlet to the timeline to bring it across for the Wildcats, Gutierrez. He'll slow it down to set up the offense, slides left, underhands it to Cox. Backdoor bouncer to the right side of the rim. Parker going up strong, high off the glass and scores. He's a very loud guy after he puts buckets down. He has a tray and now a layup and a chance for a three-point play off the foul as they'll charge that to the Eagles. He's already got 5 points on the scoreboard. They get that one against the big man for Hobbs. Parker Henderson, his first.
Well played by Clovis. Unfortunately, Hobbs was not caught in the defensive area, and Clovis got an easy bucket plus and an N1.
Free throw hard off the front of the rim, though, no good. Rebound at the free throw line, comes off the knee of Turbiatis, and he lost the ball off the knee. Didn't really ever had contact with it enough to pull it in, but it does knock off a Clovis player as well and sails out towards the Taskovich band. It will be Hobbs basketball, but the referee's having a conference right now. I guess they're going to go ahead and keep with the call, luckily, for the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was lucky because Turbiatis just could not get a handle on that ball.
Inbound to Pady in the backcourt. He'll bring it across against Parker. Dribbles through his legs, bounce pass left wing to Vega with a pivot. Over to Henderson, left block, goes up strong against the left rim, an air ball, pulled down in the left block in transition off the dribble. Now in the front court with a hippity-hop move. And a pass out to the right wing, Johnny Molina. Kicks it to the right corner, a three on the way, rainbow jumper, and nailed through the cylinder by J.J. Sias. 2 trays now for Clovis. They lead the Eagles by 4, their biggest lead, 8-4. 6:20 left first quarter. Payne across the timeline off the dribble. He's got 2 high posts in David and Henderson. Gives the Vega right wing up top to Henderson. Waits for Payne to come back and get it on the right wing. Gives him a screen. Drives to the baseline. Right side. Tries to bounce it. Kicked by Clovis up top to Malachi David, who picks it up. Spins and returns it. Turbiatis at the time stripe. Fakes the handoff. Comes around the right circle to the corner right. To David on the same side perimeter. Back to Turbiatis right corner. High arching inbound. Down low. And there's the man to dunk. Henderson. He slams it with 2 hands over the right rim and puts the biceps up to the crowd there as he's got his first buck of the ball game. And a whistle on the inbound. The ball gets knocked out on the far right sideline in the backcourt. Knocked out by the Eagles. And that'll be inbounded for the Wildcats by Cox.
Hopefully that's a premonition of what Henderson will be doing for the rest of this game.
Inbound to the backcourt, bringing it across. Gutierrez dribbles left across and hand off to Parker. Top of the circle. Goes down the right lane. Wraparound pass to the right corner. Another 3-shot attempt for Sias. Left open again. He nails his second tray in a row. He's got 6. 11-6. Biggest lead 5 now for the Wildcats. Eagles in the front court. Stop and go for Pena, right wing. Crossover to his left hand. Up top to Turbiatis. Over to Vega on the left wing near the scores table. Stop and go. Back to Turbiatis on the give and go. Up underneath the hoop. Double clutch left side over the rim. No good. Henderson trying to come down with it on the jump. Is tied up immediately by Cox. And the arrow going to go to Clovis. Nice effort there by Henderson. He's playing with a little bit more power and intensity to start the game tonight.
He sure is, and luckily he didn't get a foul on that one either because occasionally he overbodies himself and gets that foul, but this time it was just a jump ball.
Coming across the timeline after the inbound on the dribble from right to left, Molina. Gives it back deep to Parker at the timeline. Swinging up top ring-wise to Cox. Dump it in the paint, going strong to the rack. Molina loses the ball as he goes up, gets his own rebound. The scoop shot left side. It's not going to go anywhere but the back of the rim. And Henderson pulls it down for the Eagles, his second rebound. Outlet far left sideline to Payne to bring it across at 450. Crossover move, lost the ball. Gives it Turbiatis, left base. Comes underneath the hoop, reverse, rejected. Right back to him by Cox. Turbiatis bobbles the ball as he got it and fumbles it out of the baseline right side for the turnover. First turnover of the game for the Eagles. And again, trying to erase the 29 they had against Roswell Tuesday night.
Definitely. If they can get it down to under 10, they'd be very, very happy.
They're averaging 18 a game right now. Pass down to the right corner, 3 for Clovis. Sias again. He has yet to miss a tray, has 9 points on those outside shots. The biggest lead is 8, and the Clovis fans are erupting. Timeout, Eagles. Hobbs down 14-6, 4:33 left first quarter. We'll come back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Eagles in their timeout. J.J. Sias has hit 3 3-pointers for Clovis. Another tray for Kalen Parker. 14-6, the biggest lead is 8 for Clovis. Watch Coach Ross telling his troops right now, Ron.
He is telling them, get a hand in the face, especially on that perimeter shot. They've got they've had 3 shots that have just gone straight in. Nobody been able to defend them, and they need to stop that from happening, stop the bleeding, and get back on the offense.
Eagles win inbound in the backcourt. Pass over to the near side to Pena. Should mention Josiah Clay checked in during the break. Pena bringing up the near sideline into the front court, top of the circle. Spins out of the defense of Parker back to the timeline. 4:20 left, first quarter. Hobbs down by 8. 14-6. Comes to the left side with the pass to Vega. It's screen from Henderson. 3 on the way. It swishes it through. Vega near the sideline left and drills it. He's got almost all the points for the Eagles. 7 out of the 9. 14-9. Clovis by 5. 4 minutes left in the quarter. Into the front court comes Parker. He will slow it down, coming left. Gets the screen up top from Cox. Drives the lane, reverse layup right side. Misses over the iron. Pulled down by Turbiatis on the right block. And then bumped into by Parker. No reason for him to miss that layup, though. Turbiatis has his first rebound of the game. And that'll be Parker's first foul. And is the second for the Wildcats. Eagles will have 3 back. But the defense is going to back up to the half-court set now for Clovis. It looked like they just brought a sub onto the court as he's going to line up in the middle of the lane here on the defense, trying to get the number on that kid. Try to get that here in just a minute. I think it's Jaden Cox, number 30. Bounce pass into left side to Clay, number 30 for the Eagles. Drives left baseline. He gets ridden down all the way to the base off the dribble. They call the body foul on J.J. Size, that big three-point shooter. His first, third team foul. Hobbs will get underneath their hoop on the left side. Vega to inbound. Referee gives the ball to Vega, bounce it back door to Pena, goes up high with 2 hands. He beat everybody with a quick first step, and Pena lays it in for 2. That's the first one for him. It's 14-11. Clovis by 3. Into the front court with Parker's dribble. He bounce passes it to the right wing to Cox. Kick it up top to Parker. Screen up top from Cox, drives the right block, lost the ball, double team. Bounce it back door to Marvin Cox. He tries to flick it up with his left hand over the top of his head and score it through. Cox with his first bucket. 16-11. Eagles down by 5. There comes Josiah Clay for the Eagles. Brings it across the timeline. Hippity hop move to the right wing. Dribbles through his legs. Unloads to Vega right corner. Bounce it down low to the right block to Turbiatis. Spinning left in the lane. Dumps it back door. There's Henderson with another dump. Slams it through with 2 hands on the left side. And then throws the ball to the baseline. The official going to give him a warning for delay. He is mad as heck right now. He wants to show that he's going to be vicious in the paint with 2 dunks already, Ron.
Exactly. He wants to show his home crowd that he knows how to play, and he's going to do his best he can to get this victory against this Wildcat team.
Of course, you zoomed in on both of those dunks, right? Showed his face going through the rack.
Well, I tried to, yeah.
16-13. Clovis up by 3, though. The Eagles are threatening. In the front court after a screen is Parker. Spins in the rack, or the lane, I should say. Tries to pass, but slides the pivot foot. Got caught in traffic that time. Good D by Turbiatis and Clay. And gets a travel. First turnover for Clovis. 2:45 left opening quarter. Your Eagles down by 3, but coming back. Clay with the basketball. Didn't see much action against Razzo, but he's suited up here and doing some stuff for the Eagles so far. Stop and go. Bounce pass low to Henderson, and he gets knocked out of bounds in the passing lane on the right block, Cox. But notice that Henderson's getting a lot more touches early in this game, Ron.
Yeah, they are trying to post him up, get him involved, and I love that fact that they're trying to get him involved, use him to the benefit that he is needed to be in.
Vega on the right baseline, looking for somebody to get open. Almost a 5-second count, finds Javen Hernandez. No, that was Turbiatis going back door on the right side. Gets a bounce pass, lost it off his fingertips, and it'll sail out of bounds there after that. The second turnover for the Eagles. You can't give the ball up on such easy plays like that. That's what gets you up to the 29 that we saw Tuesday. Playing a lot more clean basketball in this game, though. Into the front court comes Parker after a screen. Lost the ball. He was going to try to throw it to a teammate in the right corner, but he cut to the rim. And that was J.J. Size, who keeps shooting the 3. And, of course, Parker thought, hey, why don't you put another tray down for us? And threw it to a ghost on that sideline out of bounds. Second Wildcat turnover back-to-back. 2:20 left first quarter, 16-13 Clovis. Here comes Clay. Crossover move to the free throw line front court. Back deep to Turbiatis and to Pena on the near right sideline. Wait for a screen from Henderson. Gets it, top of the circle. Gives it back to Henderson. 18-footer, rainbow jumper over the rim, no good. Pulled down in the left block by Cox. Marvin Cox, his second rebound. Throws it ahead and tried to save it deep in the right corner of the front court. Max Roche. And could not get his fingertips to pull it in for another turnover. Clovis starting to unravel on their offense.
Yeah, just trying to do too much. Looks like they're trying to get across the course, the mid-stripe and get into that front court, be able to get something done. But it's hard to do that if you don't have the ball with you when you're under the basket.
Johnny Molina returns for Clovis, and the Hobbs Eagles get Nick Pena, who's back from an illness on Tuesday. Also seeing the JV player that got a good amount of time in the last game as well, Aaron Wheeler, who scored 9 points, his second game as a varsity player. Pena gets the inbound, deep left corner of the backcourt, bounce pass to Clay on the right wing, up ahead to Vega, he drives the paint, scoop pass to Turbiatis on the right block, double clutch, his foul going up, gets whacked by Max Roche, and a foul. He didn't get it to drop, but they're going to call that on Max Roche, his first 14th foul against the Wildcats.
Yeah, he did what most players should do. He waited for the defenders to get over his back, tried to get the shot in, and it still was blocked and fouled. But still, he was showing some patience there, and that was good. All he has to do now is just show a little patience and get both these free throws.
Turpiatis 58% this season and misses off the back of the rim. Definitely could use these free throws. Again, Hobbs only 2 for 5 against Roswell on Tuesday night. Right now they're 2 for 3, 2 for Vega, and none yet for Turbiatis. On the court for the Eagles first time tonight, Lyric Soria saw some action against Roswell, checking in for Vega. And here's the second free throw for Turbiatis. It's right through the net. He got 1 of 2. Hobbs now with 4 scorers, Clovis with 3. But they lead 16-14. In the front court, crossover for Parker. Comes down the left lane. Reverse layup on the left with 2 hands and scores off the glass. Parker with a quick first step. He's got 7. 18-14. Eagles down by 4. Penny with the basketball, far left sideline. Double team near the time stripe. Cross court right to Soria in the front court. He finds Wheeler right corner for 3. It swishes it. This kid is on fire. Second game in a row now. Coming off the bench quickly for a tray. Aaron Wheeler, 18-17 at the other end. A runner down the lane and pushing over the front of the rim for 2 is Johnny Molina. That's his first bucket, 20-17. Here come the Eagles. Wheeler on the right baseline, spin. Gets double team, returns to Soria, right wing for 3, off the front of the iron, no good. Pulled down in the middle of the paint by Parker, his first rebound. Up ahead to a breaking Molina with 2 hands, goes up strong and cleanses it off the glass into the rack, counted, and the foul. They have a chance for a 3-point play.
Hobbs having a little trouble getting back on defense, especially with the Clovis getting on the horse so quickly and be able to get across that line and under the basket so quickly. It just made it look easy for them and drew the foul as well, so could extend the lead for Clovis with just 1:01 going in this first.
They called the foul on Clay. Coach Ross had some words for the official on that one. Thought that he just kind of leaned into his defender Clay that time. Free throws up hard off the back of the rim for Molina. Pulled down at the free throw line by Soria, his first board. The freshman outlets to the far left to Pena, bring it across. We'll give it over to Clay, left corner, backs out against his defender on the far left sideline. Clock to 48. Through his legs, down by 5. Gets stripped as he comes down the paint. It's picked up by Roche for the Eagles' third turnover. Down to Parker on the right block. Hippity-hop shot from the right block off the back of the rim, no good. Long rebound for Clay. He's going the other way with the dribble. Stops at the right block, gives it up to Pena. Over his head, he has to pull it down. Hippity-hop down the paint, throws left to Soria. Fakes a 3, goes to 15 and fires a J. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound on the left block, pulled down by Molina, his third. He's trying to pivot away from the defenders. He had 3 guys on him momentarily. I think Pena got him last near the baseline. That'll be a foul on the Eagles. That's going to be a foul called on Nick Pena, his first. That'll be the 14th foul. Both teams 1 away from the double bonus.
May not make with 20 seconds left in this first quarter, but you never know. Things happen.
Eagles back up to a half-court defense as the inbound comes in to Gutierrez, who just checked back. 15 seconds left in the quarter. He'll come across against Pena on the near left in front of the Taskovich band. Pena will back off of him with 10. Waiting for a screen up top from Cox. Uses it, dribbles the left elbow, bounce it up top to Cox. 3-pointer on the way, bounces out the front of the rim, loose underneath. Shot at the right block of the buzzer by Roche, and they're going to count it. A quick shot to finish it up, and Coach Ross is talking to the official. I'm not sure if he said it was late or maybe he bumped into somebody before getting the rebound, but they are going to count the basket for Roche. That'll be the final points of the first quarter. Clovis 24, your Hobbs Eagles 17. We're coming back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Ready for second quarter action here at Tasker Arena. Your Hobbs Eagles trail Clovis. Game 2 of the district schedule, 24-17. Point production in the first quarter for Clovis. J.J. Sice with 9 points, 3 3-pointers. Kellen Parker has 7. He's got a 3-pointer as well. Johnny Molina with 4, and Max Roche with 2. For your Hobbs Eagles leading with 7, Braylon Vega with a tray, 2 for 2 free throw shooting, 4 for Parker Henderson, 2 for Pena, and 1 for 2 free throw shooting for J. Iris Turbiantes for a point. Amron Wheeler getting off the bench for a tray. Eagles trail by 7 as we start the second quarter. Pena gets a shot from the left block, sails over the rim. Outlet for Clovis to the left side. It's fumbled out of bounds. The pass coming from Max Roche to Manuel Gutierrez off his fingertips to the sideline. It'll go back to the Eagles after the Clovis 4 turnover of the ball game. First quarter rebounding, Clovis 6, Hobbs 5. As Clovis had 4 turnovers, the Eagles with 3. Actually 3 apiece until the one just happened here for Clovis. Hobbs basketball. Vega gets the pass right corner. Up top to Pena. Gets a 2-3 zone for Clovis. Sends it over to left wing to Pena. Jab step. Trying to find somebody open. Takes a few dribbles. Crossover down the lane. Kicks over to Vega right wing for 3 high in the air and good. Big time shot for Vega over defender Roche that time. He's got 2 trays and 10 points to lead both teams. 24-20. At the other end, a 3 from the left wing. Off the back of the rim for Cox. Jaden Cox. Underneath the hoop, Malachi David for his first rebound. Outlet up the near sideline to Pena. In the front court, fakes a 3. Drives to the free throw line. Fadeaway Jay off the back of the rim. Chased down to the near left sideline by Gutierrez for his first rebound. He'll slow it up in the backcourt. Pena will pick him up at the timeline. 7 minutes left, second quarter. Hobbs down by 4. Biggest lead was 8 for Clovis in the first. Drives the lane. Des Gutierrez, reverse layup right side, no good. Another rebound from Malachi David, ripping it down from the right block, his second. Outlet far sideline to Pena, now in the front court. Stop and go to the free throw line. Bounce pass, one-hander over to right corner to Vega. Fadeaway 3 again. He got bumped, but no call. Vega nails it. 3 trays and 13 points. He is hitting the lights out, Ron.
Yeah, and he's getting some real good energy, attitude as well. I think he's really getting into this game, and he could make a difference with that kind of attitude.
Manuel Gutierrez gives it off front court to Cox right wing. Goes through 2 defenders. High arching layup on the right side. Clinks off the back of the rim. And a foul call. Coach Ross says you got to get guys set before you're going to get a clean defensive play there. They do get that foul call. And that'll go against the Eagles. And charge to Malachi David. His first team foul here in the second quarter. And that'll put on the line Marvin Cox. Clovis was 0 for 2 in the first quarter for no percent, 0. Cox only with 2 points. He's been their leading scorer this season, averaging around 18 a game. First free throw clinks off the front of the rim.
We got no problem with that. They can continue with the 0. That's perfect for us, not so much for them.
Now Roswell had some trouble. They shot 56% against the Eagles, still winning by 12, but 23 attempts compared to just 5 for Hobbs on Tuesday night. Second shot for Cox is a swish. He's got 3 points. The official whistled something down below and pointed the other direction towards Clovis. I don't think he signaled a foul or anything. Maybe it was a violation. He said, go ahead and count it. But or did they take that away?
I think that would be a lane violation.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he was confused about the fact that there was no point.
Yep, so they took away the free throw there, even though he did make it. Clovis must have been in the line too quickly. 24-23, Hobbs down by 1. Payne in the front court, stop and go, dribbles through his legs, behind his back on the right wing. Fires up a 3, in and out, no good. Underneath the hoop for the rebound to pull it down is Cox, his third board. Outlet to the middle of the court, bring it across Gutierrez, bounce it back to Cox on the left wing, crossover, down the lane with the windmill layup on the right side, reverse. They got the fouls. David got out of position that time. Him and Henderson tried to crash down, and they got the foul call back-to-back now on David. That's already his second, Ron.
Yeah, and you know what? 2 fouls, and both times Clovis gets to go on the line. They have not been able to take advantage of those yet, but still, you know what? Over time, it tends to get better and better with the percentage.
Marvin Cox still mad at his teammate for lousing up his last free throw, stepping in the lane too quickly, but now misses another one. He is 0 for 3 now. Probably can't blame him for the second miss due to the violation, but he's not a happy camper at this point. Usual double-digit score. He only has 2 right now, 24-23, trying to extend the lead to 2 with this second free throw. It's up, and it is good, a swish. He looks over at the ref to make sure that they're going to count this one. 25-23.
They did.
5:55 left here in the second. Hobbs down by the deuce as Payne will bring it up across the timeline against Jaden Cox, who is the brother of Marvin. Crossover through his legs to the free throw line. Spots up a J and swishes it. Pena says, get off of me. Defender backs up a step, and Pena makes him pay for it. He's got 4. 25 up. We're tied up. And a fumble in the front court from left to right. Kicking the ball almost out of bounds. Jaden Cox. It was touched by a Clovis Wildcat over there. I think it went off the hands of Sias, and they do call the turnover as it went out of bounds. That is number 5 for the Wildcats.
I thought Vega had gone off on Vega, but it did not. So luckily, Hobbs get the possession back.
Pena left alone as he comes across the timeline. Goes to the left side of the court against Sias. Screened by Vega. Top of the circle. Crossover for Pena. About where he shot just a second ago for the free throw line off the back of the rim. This time pulled down by Cox on the right block, his 4th board. Outlet to the time stripe to Gutierrez on the near left side. Brings it across. Handoff. And then getting bumped hard with Sias as he got the handoff in front of the Hobbs student section. Looks like Pena threw a hip into him that time. Nick Pena, who doesn't check back in. His 2nd personal. And the 2nd team foul. Make a 3rd team foul against the Eagles, and it'll be Clovis basketball on the near sideline near the Taskovich band.
Yeah, Clovis has not been called for a foul in this quarter yet.
Kalen Parker returns for the Wildcats at the guard position. Inbounding near sideline left, Cox bounces it in and gets it back from Gooden. Drives the left lane, windmill layup underneath the hoop, clunks it off the bottom of the iron. Rebound for Pena in the front court, his 1st board. Down the lane, double clutch, reverse on the left side, misses out the back of the rim. Gutierrez with the rebound for Clovis. Into the front court, goes back door as Cox goes up with the reverse on the left side. He's got 5 points. 27-25 Clovis, 4:48 left here in the 2nd. Pena to bring it across. Screen from Henderson, right wing. Stop and go for Nick Pena, the left elbow. Finds David in the left corner, fadeaway 3, and nothing but net for the big kid. Malachi David has his 1st tray, and that is the 5th tray for the Eagles. 28-27 Hobbs, their first lead, an air ball, deep left corner by Parker. Parker Henderson gets the rebound, his 3rd. 28-27, Eagles have their first lead of the contest by 1. Coming across the timeline is Pena. Hand off to Pena on the near right side, near the Taskovich. Crossover to his left hand, spins on the right perimeter, behind his back right elbow, lost the ball in the paint, and picking it off is Marvin Cox. Eagles 4th turnover. Throws it down to Parker, right side, goes up strong with the layup, gets knocked down hard right to Coach Reeves at the bench underneath the hoop. And he was flat and hard, was Parker that time. So he'll get 2 free throws out of the Hobbs Eagle foul. And that one will go against Abraham Pena, his 1st. Claiming that's his 2nd, and the 4th team foul.
Hobbs on an 11-3 run thanks to the woes for the free throw line from the Clovis Wildcats. They're just not able to get that to sink in for some reason. Maybe this time, nope.
Yep, it's a brick off the front of the rim for Parker. He's 0 for 2 now, does have 7 points. He's 0 for 2. Marvin Cox is 1 for 4, and Johnny Molina 0 for 1. So they've only hit 1 free throw so far. 1 for 7 from the charity stripe. Parker will get 1 more here, trying to tie the ball game at 28, and does so with the 2nd. He's got 8 points. 28-28 your score, 4:04 left, 2nd quarter. Inbound to Vega, back deep to Clay, who just checked back in. He'll bring it across the timeline off the dribble. Guarded by Parker as he comes across. Top of the circle, crossover to the left elbow, jumps in the air, throws it over to David left corner. He spins on the left base. Cross court right to Sori, who checked in momentarily, right corner. Thought about a 3, returns instead to Clay on the left wing. He'll back it out to the timeline. He'll fire up an NBA 3 off the back of the rim. Ball's tipped around on the baseline by Soria. Somebody's holding down there. I'm not sure if it's Soria or Gutierrez. And it looks like they're pointing for the Eagles. So Gutierrez is going to get the hold foul against Soria. So that's his 2nd personal. And the 1st team foul against the Wildcats here in the 2nd. Eagle basketball on the left base. Vega inbound, gets it into Henderson left corner. Back to Clay near the scores table left side. To Vega in the left corner again. Falls to the floor as he lost the ball. Defended hard by Sias. And he loses it out of bounds to the baseline. That will be an Eagle turnover, number 5.
Unfortunately, that just did not go for Hobbs, but still quite a lot of time left. 3:30, and it is a tie game at 28.
Wait a second. I think he just got an overrule by the official. 2nd official came over.
Took a little time.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that call was overridden there because looked like the one ref had the call, nothing else was said, then all of a sudden the ref comes over, says something to his ear, and then points the other way. So it will be Hobbs basketball, so erase the turnover, I guess.
Yep.
It'll be Vega in the deep left corner. Gets it into David on the left wing, takes a few dribbles up top, flicks it back to Soria. Soria comes right, bounce pass to Henderson, right block, turns, fakes a shot, goes up anyway, and fires it from point-blank range, right side of the paint near the hoop. Henderson puts it through. He's got 6. 30-28 Eagles. Going to the rack on the other end, getting blocked, though, is Parker. Parker, the guard for Clovis, was swatted by Parker Henderson for the Eagles. Nice clean swat on the basketball to the right baseline.
See, that's good play. He was able to score on one end, get on the other end, and be able to block that shot from happening.
Gutierrez inbound from the right base into the Clovis hoop. He has to send it back to the right wing to Gooden. Gooden drives the paint, reverse layup over the top of his head, no good. Hit by David in the paint, might have been off of him. I think Clovis is going to get this one back near the left sideline here in front of the Hobbs Eagles student section. Not where you want to take the ball, and if you're for Clovis, right with the students behind your head.
True, that is absolutely true. But yeah, that was a nice clean swat. Unfortunately, nobody else was able to touch it, and it goes out for Hobbs.
So they'll inbound from the deep left corner, and boy, Clay gets high in the air and flicks that ball away as it goes on the inbound and knocks it to the baseline. Referee has to chase it down there, the Hobbs Eagle bench. And now they're going to get them on the baseline. Kalen Parker will be in the deep left corner. They're going to switch out the inbounder, though. J.J. Seiss down there with 3:07 left in the quarter. Bounce pass up top to Parker. Slings it to the same Gutierrez, who's at the top of the circle. Kick it down right corner. Three on the way. Off the back of the rim for Seiss. Rebound right block for the Eagles. Here comes Clay off the dribble, his second rebound. Stop and go, front court with 2:50 left in the half. Gives it over to right corner to Soria. Flicks it right to the free throw line to David. Wide open for Jay, but clinks it off the front of the rim. Gutierrez with his third rebound for the Wildcats in the paint. Outlet to Parker in the front court on the right wing. Cross court left to Cox in the corner. Drives baseline, bounce it to the right block. Turnaround jumper high off the glass. No good off the rim for Gooden, but pulled down on the right wing by Seiss. Kicks it left. Gutierrez for three off the front of the rim. And there's Henderson for the Eagles in the rebound left block. He's got 4 boards. Eagles by 2. Their biggest lead of this first half with 2:18 left. To Henderson on the left wing. He pivots. Up top to Soria. Gets a screen from Henderson. Crossover to his left hand. Still up top. Back deep to Vega at the timeline. Comes left. Zigzags right. Back to left. Spins on the left elbow. Gives it to Clay, top of the circle. Dribbles behind his back. Knocked out of his hands by Parker. Chased down by David at the timeline. Recovers. Back to Soria in the left corner. Drives left baseline. Goes to the rack. Got the ball swatted from behind. It hits the back of the backboard. We're going to say touched by Clovis last. And the block was by Champ Gooden. Looked like maybe Soria might have got hipped pretty hard from behind there, but no call. He'll take a breather. Is coming on the court again, Abraham Pena.
Yeah, I was expecting to see some sort of foul call, but no, instead they just, refs are kind of just letting them play, and that's kind of good to a degree, as long as it's done on both sides.
4-1 foul count, 4 for the Eagles and 1 for Clovis here in the second quarter. Vega will get the inbound left wing for a fadeaway 3 off the back of the rim, pulled down underneath by Cox, his 5th board for the Wildcats. Outlet to the timeline near left side to Parker. Stop and go, cross over to his left hand, top of the circle, jump stop at the free throw line. Over to Gutierrez right wing, down to the right corner to Cox. Cox bounces it to the right block to Seiss. Turns and spins on the right baseline, triple team. Tries to pass inside and it's rejected by Vega and also Clay and knocked out on the baseline. Go back to the Wildcats. Clock stop with 1:30 left second quarter. Eagles holding on to a 2-point lead for a couple of minutes here. Left baseline inbound for Kalen Parker. Down by 2 for the Wildcats. Sends it back deep. Chasing it down top of the circle is Cox. He's going to spot up a 3 and misses off the back of the rim. Ripped out high in the air by Clay on the right block for the Eagles, his 3rd. He'll dribble across the timeline. Sends it right to Pena. Fakes a 3. Back to Clay at the top of the arc. Jab step and then a 3-shot himself and puts it through the hole. Big time shot up top for Josiah Clay, and Clovis wants a timeout. The Hobbs Eagles have converted on 6 3-pointers here in the first half alone. Biggest lead of the game, 33-28 against Clovis. We're back in 30. Back live after a Clovis timeout, and boy, Ron, a big run for the Hobbs Eagles the last few minutes.
Yeah, they've been hot. I didn't realize it, but 16-4 is what they've got to run on. That's the reason why they've got a 6-point lead right now, or 7-point lead.
Clovis needed a timeout. Parker gets the ball in the front court with 1:06 left in the half. Eagles by 5. He's going to slow it down now. One hands it to the right wing to Roche, drives the lane. Scoop with 2 hands on the left side on the reverse. Missed. Henderson pulls it down underneath the hoop. His 5th rebound. Outlet ahead to Pena. Goes the rack through 2 defenders on the right side. Gets bodied up as he tries to shoot. Ball came off the bottom of the rim, but he will go to the line to shoot 2. The sandwich foul. They're going to get the charge to, or the foul to Champ Gooden. That's his first. Second team foul. And Pena now with his first attempt at a free throw tonight. Eagles are 3 of 4 for 75%.
And this is what we wanted to see. Hobbs coming out here, pressing the issue, making their decisions for them, and getting those foul calls in their favor so that way they can get the line and be able to get these extra points. Charity stripe good.
Right through the net there for Pena. He's got 5 points. He'll get one more. Lead is 6. Could be 7 here in just a second. Biggest lead already at 6. And the second shot for Pena is ricocheting around, no good. Couldn't get it to drop. Underneath the hoop for Clovis was Roche, his first rebound. Throws it down the lane. Hook shot over the front of the rim. Misses off the iron by Gooden. Pulled down by Parker Henderson, his 6th board. Outlet to the far left sideline. Bringing it across is Pena. Up top to Clay. Down to 35. Drives the lane with his left hand. Scoop on the left rim. No good. Pulled down on the paint by Cox, his 6th rebound. Sends it the head to Parker. Reverse layup left side. Blocked by Pena. Ball brought down by Sias. Goes backdoor. Shot missing off the rim right by Gooden. And here comes the Eagles. Josiah Clay with the basketball in the front court now. Clock to 18. Back deep to Vega at the timeline. Right on the Eagles left wing. Logo in the middle of the court. Dribbles right hand off to Pena. Gets bided up hard by Parker, who's out of position. Parker will pick up his 2nd personal, 3rd team foul. Eagles will have it on the near right sideline with 11.6 remaining in the quarter, up by 6.
You know, the big story for me right now is the fact that they've held Clovis, a 9 seed or a ranked 9th, to 4 points in this second quarter. That helps a lot. Of course, there's still 2 more quarters to go, so you cannot sleep on this team so early.
Inbound to Clay at the timeline with 8 seconds in the front court now. Sliding right, dribbling through his legs to 4, 3. He'll spot up an NBA 3, in and out, no good. Roche gets the rebound in the middle of the paint. That will run out the half clock. There's a shot at the buzzer, but it's after the buzzer, I should say, by Kalen Parker. No good. Would not have counted if he would have dropped. So Hobbs Eagles with the lead here at the half, 34-28 over Clovis. We'll be back in 3 minutes with the halftime show on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. We're back at halftime here at Task Arena. Game number 2 of the district schedule as your Hobbs Eagles lead Clovis 34-28. Your Eagles came in here in the Max Preps poll this week at number 20, and Clovis at number 9, so an upset is underway at this point. An Eagles 6-point lead. Let's look at the numbers in the first half. First for the Wildcats. Leading with 9 points, J.J. Sias got all 3 of his 3-pointers in the first quarter, so he leads the team with those 9 and 2 rebounds. Keldon Parker with 8 points. He went 1 of 3 from the charity stripe and had a tray and 1 rebound. Marvin Cox, 5 points and 6 rebounds. Not having a great night on the free throw line, though. 1 of 4 from the charity stripe for 25%. Johnny Molina has 4 points, 0 for 1 on the line, and 3 rebounds. Max Roche with a bucket for 2 points, and they have 5 scores in the first half. Very poor free throw shooting for Clovis, though. 2 of 8 from the line, and that 25%, so definitely got to improve on that charity stripe. They've had 5 turnovers, the same number as the Hobbs Eagles. Rebound situation right now, Clovis with 18, 15 for the Eagles. Clovis had 6 boards in the first quarter and 12 in the second. For your Hobbs Eagles already in double digits, Braylon Vega, he's hit 3 trays in the game, perfect on the charity stripe, 2 for 2, and has 13 points. Parker Henderson with 6 points on 3 buckets and 6 rebounds. Abraham Pena with 5 points. He's 1 of 2 from the line and has a rebound. Josiah Clay hit a tray for 3 with 4 boards. Amron Wheeler coming off the bench, coming off the JV squad for a second game in a row. He had a tray for 3. Malachi David, the big post player, had a tray for 3 as well. And I believe that's it for the scoring. Yep. Oh, no, sorry. Jairus Turbiantes went 1 of 2 from the line for 1 point. Hobbs managing 7 scores in the first half. They were 4 of 6 from the charity stripe for 66%. In terms of rebounds, Hobbs getting 5 in the first quarter, 10 in the second, and trail by 3 to Clovis, 18-15. Top rebounder for the Eagles was Josiah Clay Parker Henderson with 6 and Josiah Clay with 4. Eagles had 5 turnovers, the same as Clovis. Scoring in the first quarter was Clovis up 24-17, but you mentioned earlier, Ron, 17-4, the point production for Hobbs in the second quarter to get this 6-point lead.
And I wasn't expecting to see this all at once, and we're hoping that they can continue to do the same thing in the third and the fourth quarters. But right now I am very happy to see that Hobbs is playing the game that they know how to play, going back to the old Tasker Arena kind of style of defense. They're getting a little under the skin of the Clovis Wildcats, and it's working out so far. Clovis coming back, of course, they still have a second half to be able to adjust, but so does Hobbs. And I think if they continue to play the way they are, I think they can beat this number 9 seed team, Clovis, and be able to get back on the winning track.
I think I did mention this in the pregame show, hearing Coach Ross with his team practice a little bit before the game tonight, not the warm-ups, but earlier in the afternoon. He made that point to the team. You can't just sit back and cry about one mistake that you made, a turnover or not calling a foul or something like that. You got to get back, play the defense after that, and not dwell on stuff. And that's kind of what we're seeing tonight. They've had only 5 turnovers, the same as Clovis, but they're not letting that get to their head. They're getting back on the ball. They're getting to play at this point. Down by 7 at the first quarter, they completely flipped the table in the second.
Yeah, and exactly what I think they do. The same thing with their free throws. A lot of times they miss their first one, but they adjust themselves, be able to get the second one, and they usually sink the second shot and be able to make at least 1 out of 2. Not the greatest thing, but at least better than nothing at all. You want to get something out of there we've been looking at Parker Henderson. He's been getting out there. He hasn't made every single shot he's attempted, but he's getting more attempts, and he's also getting a little crisper on his delivery too. Now, his last one he missed, but other than that, he looks like he's doing really well. He's getting some of those rebounds. He's also getting some of those shots that are going in. And it looks like he's been practicing a lot more on that one as well.
Yeah, it's hard to miss dunks. He's had 2 of those with 2 hands on both sides of the rim so far.
We've seen some of them do that, but, it's not very often. Once you do, then you usually have to get off the court for a moment, just to settle yourself back in.
Well, the good thing about the dunks, though, it's power going up strong, not waiting around for defense to sit there and try to test you to see what you're going to do with the ball. Get up strong immediately, use your height, and just slam it down. He's got some wingspan to go along with his height as well. About 2 minutes away from second half action. Again, Hobbs by 6, 34-28 over Clovis. We'll come back in 2 minutes for second half action live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Task Arena getting ready for third quarter action. Here's your Hobbs Eagles lead Clovis 34-28. Like to thank our sponsor for Hobbs Eagle coverage on the internet and the radio.
First American Bank of Hobbs, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, Elite Home Healthcare, Lee County State Bank, Liasco Construction, TDS, Thriftway, The Coffee House, Devon Energy, Innomar Pipeline, The Model, Ampersand Media and Design, Hydrotech Services, and Divine Energy Services. Thank you very much for all the support.
Hobbs Eagles working on their 9th win of the season, coming in at 8-13, and the Clovis Wildcats at 14-6. So an upset going on here tonight. Hobbs trying to even their district record to 1-1. Of course, Clovis getting a double-digit win over Carlsbad on Tuesday for their first win in district. So everybody's trying to get themselves situated on the court. Some players that know we're getting ready for action. Parker Henderson had to run the full distance to the court to get set up on defense. It will be Clovis basketball going left to right if you're watching on video. Inbound in the backcourt to Gutierrez. He'll bring it across. Vega or make it. Pena gets a strip. He's going to take it the other way. Lays up in the right. No, a dunk. He went up with two hands and dunked it home. Pena, third dunk of the game for the Eagles on the steal there. He's got 7 points. That's the 6th Clovis turnover. Down to the other end, Parker comes down the lane, kicks out left wing. Pass over to the right corner, a jab step for that three-point shooter, Sias. Returns to Cox on the right wing. He drives the rack through two defenders, scores high in the right glass. He's got 7 all the way to the rack that time. 36-30, Hobbs still by 6. Into the front court comes Clay, handoff to Vega. Eagles have had their biggest lead of 8 just seconds ago, but it's down to 6 once again. Clay will come up top of the arc, give it off to Pena, dribbles to the right, handoff to Vega, top of the circle off the dribble. Back to Pena on the right side perimeter. Gets a screen from David, uses it, takes a 3 from NBA distance, in and out, no good. Chase down left corner for Clovis by Gutierrez, his 4th board. Stop and go dribble in the front court. Going to the rack, tries to go backdoor with the pass in the last second, stolen by Vega in the paint. 7 Clovis turnovers. Up ahead to Pena, tries to scoop on the layup right side, gets his bicep chopped off by Parker and the foul call.
Yeah, Pena bringing a lot of energy so far in this third quarter. Hobbs definitely needs to see that and continue to go strong. Clovis is not going to back down. You know that. That's why they've already got 2-2 so far, and it's only been a minute into this quarter.
And that's putting Parker at 3 fouls, too, which could start to cost him. I don't see any. Well, there's a guy, yes, checking in. Not sure if he's coming in for Parker. That's going to be Max Roche. But Pena will be on the line for the Eagles. 1 of 2 from the stripe. Hobbs 4 of 6 at halftime as a team. Pena with 7 points. Second leading scorer so far in this game for the Eagles. Bounced around the rim on the first one and good. He's got 8. Roche does come in, but it's not for Parker. Instead for Manuel Gutierrez, who got the ball stripped and laid up by Pena just seconds ago. 6:50 left, third quarter. Eagles extend their lead to 7 over Clovis. Second shot for Pena is up, and it is good. He got both of them. Now has 9 points. 38-30, Hobbs matching their biggest lead at 8 with 6:45 left third. Parker across the timeline. Unloads to the left wing. Coming back to it is Stias. Pass down to the right corner to Roche. Takes a few dribbles with his left hand. Finds Parker on the right elbow. Crossover through his legs. Fakes left. Hands off behind on the right side of the lane to Sias. Goes up strong and is fouled from behind by Henderson. Ball comes short of the rim, but that will put Sias on the line. Henderson picks up his 2nd and the first team foul on the Eagles here in the 3rd.
Yeah, hopefully they'll clean that up. So far they've been pretty good, but 1-1 so far for the foul count on each side. With 6:30 to go, and hoping that Hobbs can continue to play with this intensity without causing too many fouls against them.
First free throw is up and good for Sias. He's got 10 points. That's his first point outside of his 3 trays in the first quarter. They're just 3 of 9 from the charity stripe for 33%.
Get an update in Clovis. Looks like they're at the half right now. 42-18 is what the score is. Hobbs leading big time, trying to get that 16th victory in a row against the Lady Wildcats.
Miss off the back of the rim. Henderson gets his 7th rebound. Outlet to the timeline to Clay. 38-31. Hobbs by 7. In the front court, Clay. Underhands to Pena on the right wing. Dump it low to David, but getting in the passing lane to punch it out was Max Roche. Good job of knocking that to the baseline to keep it away from the big guy underneath for the Eagles. Vega will inbound, deep right corner of the front court baseline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Bounce it back door to Pena. Goes up strong with his left hand and scores. Boy, Coach Ross was livid. He thought there should have been an and one on that one, but Pena scores nonetheless. He's got 6 points in the third, 11 overall. 3-point at the other end from the left corner, no good by Sias off the back of the rim. Pulled down by Vega, his first rebound. Outlet to Pena in the front court on the left wing. Up top to Vega, fakes a three. Hippity hop move down to the left elbow and gets tripped. Got sandwiched by Kellen Parker and Sias. We'll see which one of those guys gets the foul. If it's Parker, that's going to be his fourth. He's already leaving the game. He knows he's in trouble here.
Yeah,
nope,
I think it
they
is
called
Parker.
on. Nope, they move it to Sias instead.
Well,
So
he got lucky.
That's an anticipation foul, I guess. I think his coach has said, Coach Maddox says, we're not taking any chances anyway. You almost had your fourth there. We all leave, and coming in is Gutierrez. 40-31. Hobbs by 9, their biggest lead here in the second half. Inbound from the left baseline will be Vega. Alley-oop, back door. There's Pena going high in the air with a double clutch and scores over the right rim. Pena getting big time in this third quarter. He's got 8 in the quarter, 13 overall. 42-31. Hobbs with a double-digit lead by 11. Pass still Roche on the left wing, front court, jab step. Henderson stand with him. Up top to Cox, drives the lane left, reverse slap, rejected by Henderson. Quick call by the official there. Henderson went up with him, got a piece of the ball. I guess they're going to say he slid down on the arm as they called on him. Crowd's not liking that call for the Hobbs Eagles. Third on Henderson, second team foul. And that's going to put Cox on the line. Quiet night for him so far. He's got 7 points, averaging around 18 a game, but does have 6 boards. Not very great on the free throw line, though. 1 of 4 for 25%.
Yeah, Clovis, luckily for Hobbs, is just unable to get a rhythm going on their offense. Finally got their first free throw of the first attempt, but still, they're just unable to get so far any kind of rhythm going in the in this quarter for offense.
Cox now with 8 points. 2 for 5 on the line. 42-32, a 10-point Eagle lead, pinning a second free throw here. Cox the leading scorer, tied with actually Parker with 8. No, I'm sorry, Sias has 10. They're beating them both. Second shot bouncing around the rim and good for Cox. He's got 9 total. And returning for the Wildcats, the sub, Jaden Cox, his brother, as he checks in for Johnny Molina. Eagles going to match up man-to-man. Get matched up man-to-man by Clovis defense in the backcourt. And Clay's going to take his time, dribbling through his legs, crossover in the front court against Gutierrez. Hand off to Pena, middle of the Hobbs Eagle logo on the center court. 5:20 left, third quarter, Eagles by 9. To Vega right wing, NBA 3 bounces off the front of the rim. Pulled down by Cox, his 7th rebound. That's Marvin Cox. To Gutierrez at the time stripe, dribbles down the lane, bounce it back door, going up strong with a hook shot over the front of the rim is Sias. 42-35 Eagles. Slowing it down big time now is Pena in the backcourt. Meeting him at the timeline will be Jaden Cox. Dribbles through his legs in the front court. Comes to the right circle, give it off to Vega. Back to Pena right corner, fakes a 3, jab step. Returns up top to Vega. Jump stop, one hands it back to Pena on the right wing. NBA 3 near the sideline right, swoops in and out, no good. Parker Henderson goes back up high off the glass right block. Ball doesn't go in the hole, but he gets fouled, comes off the iron. He'll get a chance for some free throws here. Henderson now with 8 rebounds. Continues to fight for those boards and gets the foul on Cox, his first, third Clovis team foul.
And that was a nice try back. He just could not quite get it into sync, but he did get the foul for the 2. So we're hoping to see if he can get improved on his foul shots and be able to get both these in with no problem.
Shooting 53% from the charity stripe this season. Henderson with the first throw, bouncing around and good.
Nice shooter's touch on that one. Maybe he can do it again, get a little bit more distance on this one. I'd like to see Hobbs with a little bit bigger lead than they have right now.
He's starting to inch closer to a double-double, 7 points and 8 rebounds for the big kid, Parker Henderson, 6'10", 240. Free throw up and good on a swish. He's got 8 points now. And now it's Turbiatis returning as Henderson takes a seat. Some big high fives there for his teammate, and a 9-point Eagle lead. Inbound right corner, backcourt to Cox. Jaden Cox with the basketball. Brothers in the game as well. Marvin Cox gives it off to Gutierrez, far sideline left to bring it across the timeline. Handoff in the front court to Sias in the scores table area. Cross court right to Cox. Down to the right corner to Jaden Cox. Tries to send it back to Gutierrez at the top of the arc. Goes all the way to the half-court line. It's saved by Sias. To the left corner to Gutierrez for 3 and swishes it. That's Manuel Gutierrez with his first bucket. It's now 44-38, a 6-point Hobbs Eagle lead. 5 3-pointers, or make that, 5 3-pointers for Clovis here in this ball game. In the front court, Vega top of the circle. Backs it out on the near sideline left in front of the Taskovich band. Crossover move, top of the arc, drives the lane. Runner shot of the way, and swishes it through with one hand on the right side of the paint. Nice shot for Pena high in the air. Make that Vega that time. He had 15 now total. 46-38. Hobbs by 8. Cox on the left wing, gives it up top to Sias. Flicks it over to the right wing to Gutierrez. Bounce pass to the free throw line to Roche. Spins right, goes to the rack, high in the air, rolls around the rim and good. Turbiatis threw a late block at him. Whistle came late. Now, I think they're going to count it +1. I don't think it was after the shot. Foul on Turbiatis, and that will be his first. Third team foul. They're going to count the bucket for Roche, even though it was a late whistle. Roche now has 4 and a chance for 5 on the free throw.
And this may be the reason why they're ranked number 9 right now, because the second quarter they could not get many shots to fall, if any. Right now they're getting those shots to drop again, and they're getting the foul calls as well. So we're going to see if they can improve on the line or if they're going to continue to struggle.
Roche's free throw is in and out, no good. Couldn't get it to drop. Eagles still up by 6, pulled down by David on that one, his second rebound. Throws it ahead to Clay on the right wing front court. Gets a screen from David, but runs right into him in the corner. Has to throw it back deep to Vega at the timeline. 3:15 left, third quarter. Hobbs by 6. To Clay on the right wing. Dribbles through his legs to the free throw line. Jump stop. Double team. Kick out right to David for 3. Fade away and count it. Over the top of the outstretched hand of Marvin Cox. David sails it through the cylinder. His second tray of the ball game for 6 points. Eagles again by 9, 49-40. In the front court, Marvin Cook on the left wing. One-hand bounce pass up top to Molina. Drives the right block. Pivots. Kick it up top. Jaden Cox for 3 off the back of the rim. It's big-time David on the right baseline for the rebound. He's really starting to come on big. He's third rebound. Sends it ahead to Vega. Right corner. 3 on the way off the front of the rim. Gutierrez one-hands it. Pulls it down on the rebound on the left baseline. Gutierrez with his 5th board. Sends it ahead to Roche. Spin on the lane. Lost the ball at the free throw line. Stolen by Vega. And then Roche reaches out and grabs Vega in desperation there and gets the foul. Vega gets the steal. 8 turnover for Clovis. And that'll be Roche's second personal, 4th-team foul.
And just one away from the bonus for Hobbs. They got 4 fouls, Clovis does. So, yeah, you definitely got to understand that this is important right now, that Hobbs can continue to get this lead going.
Clay will get the inbound, comes to the right wing front court, up top to Vega. 2:20 left in the third, Eagles by 9. One-hander over to Pena, fakes a 3, drives baseline, double team, bounce pass down low to Turbiatis, goes high on the glass with one hand, and shot puts it through for 2. Turbiatis with 3, 51-40. Eagles by 11, matching their biggest lead in the third. Perimeter passing game for Clovis. Right wing Gutierrez drives to the free throw line. Hippity hop. Uses up his dribble on the jump stop. Back to Roche on the right wing. Down to the right corner to Sias. He dribbles to the right elbow. Turns and fires in the paint and puts it through the cylinder. Actually, that was Johnny Molina. Good body control in the air that time to shove it through the hole midway through the lane. He's got 6. 9-point Eagle lead. 1:40 left in the third. Coming across the timeline is Clay. Far right sideline. Now on the perimeter. To his legs. Stop and go. Down the lane, reverse layup, scoop on the left side, flicks off the rim, no good. Cox underneath the hoop for his 8th rebound. Outlet to the timeline and coming across Gutierrez, top of the circle. Clay tries to reach out to swat the ball away and Gutierrez's arm there, so Clay gets the foul. That'll be his second personal, 4th-team foul. Both teams have 4. That means 1 away from the double bonus. But only 1:24 left in the third.
Yeah, Clay was a little aggressive on that one. I don't mind that at all, but unfortunately he ran into his opponent and drew the foul.
Nick Pena back on the court for the Eagles. And looks like some subs as well. Parker for Clovis. He'll get the inbound in the backcourt. Taking on Pena across the timeline. Gives it off to the left wing to Jaden Cox. Up top to Molina. Lost the ball. Got it back and returns the top of the circle to McCox. Cox with a reverse layup left. Misses it. Gets his own rebound with his left hand. It goes back up. Sidewinder hook for Cox. He's got 11 and 9 rebounds. Eagles up by 7. Pena comes down the lane at the other end, goes back door to Malachi David. He tries to go up with 2 hands on the left block, taken away in the midair by Marvin Cox. Throws it off right to Gutierrez, gets it back coming down the lane, and is fouled before he could go up with it. Eagles stop an easy layup that time, but it will be a double bonus anyway, so same effect, 2 shots. As a swat foul on the Eagles on the ground ends up being a 2-shot situation on the double bonus. And waiting to see who they got the call. And a couple guys in the area that time. That will be the 5th on the Eagles. That will be charged to Pena. Actually, Nick Pena, sorry, that's his 3rd, 5th-team foul. And that will put Marvin Cox on the line. He has had some issues with free throws early, but is now 3 of 6 for 50% and misses that one off the back of the rim.
Very good. You know, Hobbs, though, is averaging about 17 a quarter right now from what they've got with 51. They've got 57.95 for their average each game. So so far they're doing better than their average, which is great. They needed to, especially since Clovis has a average of 62.5 a game. You got to get past that if you want to win, and so far Hobbs is on the right track.
Parker Henderson coming in for Turbiatis. A lot of subbing in the post positions tonight for Coach Ross and Coach Reeves. Marvin Cox on the line. His second shot off the front of the rim, no good. Parker Henderson comes down with it. He missed both of them that time. Henderson now with 9 rebounds and 8 points, getting close to that double-double. 51-44. Pena will get the ball in the front court on the far right sideline near the scorer's table with 40 seconds. Takes on Cox, Jaden Cox, back deep to Vega, left side, to Pena on the left wing. Pena spins, keeps it outside the circle, though, and backs it out in front of the Taskovich band with 30 seconds left. Screen from David, gets double team top of the circle, comes away from it, and over back to Vega at the timeline right. Down to 20 seconds. Comes right wing, one hands it to Henderson in the corner right. Cox right on top of him, pivoting, dumps it in the lane to David, but throws it behind him, stolen by Molina. The Eagles' 6th turnover, only the first of the second half. Gutierrez on the left wing front court, up top to Cox, fakes a 3, weaves down the lane, reverse layup left, and leaves it over the rim, count it for 2. Cox continues to score some big ones. It's 51-46, down to 1 second. A half-court shot, the buzzer for Vega, hits the top of the backboard, no good. But your Hobbs Eagles holding on to a 5-point lead as we enter the fourth quarter. 51-46, the Eagles over Clovis, back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Welcome back to the legendary Ralph Tasker Arena. We are in the fourth quarter right now. Hobbs leading by 5. It is 51-46, and it has been a great quarter. Actually, a great game so far for Hobbs. And for the call, here is Ty Friend.
Point production through 3 quarters of action. Marvin Cox leads the Wildcats with 13. J.J. Sias with 12. For your Hobbs Eagles, Braylon Vega 15. Abraham Pena with 13. Heading to the fourth quarter, Hobbs by 5. And Parker Henderson almost gets the pass catch there, but it's knocked back to Pena. He drives the lane instead, throws another one to the left wing. It's stolen as taken away by Champ Gooden, but a bad pass up court, stolen by the Eagles. It's going back and forth now. Pena comes down the lane with it, lost the ball out to the baseline, but let's see if Clovis knocked it out. But both teams getting a little sloppy to start the fourth.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes that happens when you get really intense, especially at the beginning of a quarter. You try to get the ball and ended up just seeing a lot of turnovers. But luckily, Hobbs has got it back. Maybe a shot. Yep, there it is.
In low to Henderson, tries to tippy-toe it up over the rim, and that looks like he gets fouled going up. Maybe a shot, maybe not. They got the foul on Clovis regardless against Max Roche, his 3rd personal. First team foul in the fourth, not a shooting foul, though. Eagle basketball once again. Alley-oop it again to Henderson, right block. He tries to go to the rack with it on the right side. Lost his balance, but he was shoved in the back. Clovis fans not liking the call. A little bit out of control that time for Henderson, but maybe because of a push in the back there. They do call the foul against Kalen Parker, his 4th.
Yeah, and you got to love the fact that Henderson Parker is getting in there and trying to get something going on. He may not be able to get the shot, but he is getting the fouls drawn against him. I think the earlier one was simply because he was fumbling the ball.
2 more points and a rebound. He'll have a double-double. He gets 2 free throws here, and there's 9 with the free throw. Perfect on the line tonight for the big man. He is 3 for 3, and again, those 9 rebounds has a total of 9 points.
Yeah, looks like he's been cleaning up his charity stripe shots, and looks great so far.
Been having some trouble with those bangs over his eyes. He keeps having to move them over to make those free throw attempts. Second shot no good. Underneath the hoop is Roche to bring it down. He's got the third rebound for Clovis. 52-46, Eagles by 6. Pass to the other end, left wing. As the ball comes in to Cox. Cox will hand it behind to his brother Marvin Cox. Jaden Cox to Marvin on the left sideline. Gets bodied by Nick Pena. They get the foul call there against the Eagles. That's his fourth. First team foul against Hobbs in the fourth quarter. Hobbs has had 13 fouls through 3, now 14 total. Clovis with 13 total as well. Gutierrez on the left wing, handoff to Roche. Keeps the dribble alive up top. One hand bounce pass down the lane. Jaden Cox waiting for it and scoops it up over the right rim for 2. So Jaden Cox throws it down. For him, that's going to be his first bucket of the ball game. 52-48, Hobbs by 4. Can they hold on in the fourth quarter? Nick Pena on the right wing. Front court, crossover move to the free throw line. Jump stop, bounce pass back deep to Vega near the time stripe, left side. Waits for Pena, does not hand it to him. Backs up instead of the logo in the middle of the court. Flicks it over to David on the left wing. His 3 in and out, no good. Rebound, Henderson going up strong. Big time with the top of Marvin Cox. Lays it up for 2 on the right side glass. Henderson got now 11 points and 10 rebounds. There's his double-double.
Exactly.
54-48, Eagles by 6. In the front court, pass up top, spinning with the dish from Gooden over the left wing to Gutierrez in the left corner. Goes baseline, puts his head down and goes hard to the hole. Double team at the left block. Kick out left wing. Jaden Cox, hippity hop, throws a shot as he gets shoved on the baseline. Throws it up anyway, clinks off the side of the rim on the left side, but they call the foul as it comes off. Might have called it on the floor there. Looks like the official pointing to the ground.
Yep.
So that will be not a shooting situation, but they do get the foul regardless against Braylon Vega. Only his first, second team foul.
Clovis still trying to play the offense now. They've gotten back as far as offensive rhythm, but they're trying to control the tempo. Hobbs needs to get it back if they want to continue with this lead.
6:10 remaining in the game, 54-48 Hobbs. They put it down low. Fade shot from the right block, knocked to the floor. Champ Gooden, no call. Rebound on the right wing as it clinks off. That's the 10th for Cox. To the right corner to Gooden. Gooden returns up top to Gutierrez, fires a 3, in and out, no good. Getting off the floor big time was Henderson as he pulls it down for his 11th board. Outlet to the middle of the court to Clay. 5:50 remaining in the fourth, 54-48 Eagles by 6. To Vega on the right wing, dribbles back to the timeline. One hands it to Clay on the right wing. Faces his teammates to see who's going to get open for him. Uses up the dribble to Pena, top of the circle. Lefty dribble, shot from 18, in and out. Rebound in the middle of the paint for Roche. That'll be his 4th rebound. Outlet across the timeline to Cox to the left baseline. Leads and shoots with 2 hands on the glass and scores. Marvin Cox putting it down. He's got 15 to lead the Wildcats. In fact, he leads both teams, actually tied with Braylon Vega, who has 15 as well, and a timeout on the court. We'll keep it right here at Task Arena. 5:23 left here in the fourth. Hobbs 54, Clovis 50. Hobbs has not had very many strong fourth quarters lately, but it seems like they got more energy and motivation in this game to try to even their district record to 1-1.
Yeah, I think the last couple of games they've had where they've had the fourth quarter lead that were unable to hold it on, I think that has motivated them today, especially to be able to get past this Clovis team again. They have dominated them. 148-48 is what their series is from 1949. They want to continue with that winning streak and be able to get moving on. Once again, it's all about district. They want to get back in the winning side, be able to make a difference. And, you got to do it one game at a time. You can't say, look, we got to win all 5 games. You got to win one at a time. And this one is definitely a big one. If they can beat Clovis, they can prove that they can hang with the big guys, or at least the top-ranked teams.
Yeah, and again, we keep harping about the strength of schedule. A win over a number 9 ranked team in the Max Pets Bowl really going to help your cause, but wins is where it's at this point in the season. Who you play that's tough is one thing, but getting a W against them is what Hobbs really's got to be focusing on here in the next 5 games of district. Hobbs basketball after a timeout, leading by 4. Vega in the front court. No look pass to the right wing to Pena for 3 off the back of the rim. Tipped around and brought down by Marvin Cox, middle of the paint. He's got 11 rebounds so far. 54-50 to the other end to Roche, left wing. He drives to the baseline left side, tries to lean back underneath the hoop, gets bodied up as he tries to shoot. He kind of leaned into the defender that time. The referee bit on that one as they call the foul, as they'll charge that one to Jairus Turbiatis, his third team foul, as Roche will step up to the charity stripe, 0 for 1 from the line so far.
Well, that's good news. Struggling on the line has Clovis been, but also Jairus Turbiatis not in foul trouble so far in this fourth quarter, and that is a big one because Turbiatis can make a difference in this game.
First free throw's up and good. 5 points now for Roche. Of course, it's Clovis or Carlsbad and Roswell playing tonight as well. Second one in and out for Roche, no good. Don't have a score update yet. As Turbiatis pulls down the rebound, his third in the deep right corner, throws it ahead to Clay on the right wing front court. Over to Vega on the left side. Dribbles back to the time stripe. He's been doing that on every play set to get everybody set. Over to Pena on the left wing. He'll take a three on the way off the side of the iron, left side, no good. Ball loose on the near side, picked up by Pena. Flicks it over to the right baseline to Wheeler. He spins, fade away, and they're going to call the travel. They say he picked up his pivot foot, spun around, and unfortunately a traveling violation on Wheeler. He just barely had checked in.
Yeah, that's bad for them, but, you know, sometimes it happens. You just got to be able to get those fundamentals in and work with the ball.
Boy, Ron, they've really cleaned up their turnovers tonight, just 8 compared to 29 against Roswell.
Oh, very much a cleanup, yes, definitely.
Long pass the other end. Gutierrez fumbles it, picked up on the left block. A hook shot by Sias, can't get it. Ball goes up in the air, and now we got a foul. A little bit of pushing in the paint, and that might be against Clovis. Gutierrez was shoving on Wheeler that time against the Eagles, and that'll be the foul on Gutierrez, as that will be his third personal, third team foul. Both teams have 3 fouls, 2 away from the double bonus. That could be critical in a game like this. Eagles by 3. 4:30 left here in the fourth, 54-51 Hobbs. Inbound to the deep left corner, backcourt to Pena. Slings it to Vega, far right. Across the top line to Clay. Spots up a 3 on the left side and puts it through. His defender was way behind him that time, and a big shot for Clay. He's got 2 trays and 6 points. Long ball to the other end. J. Iris Turbiatis waiting for it on the baseline, but lost off his fingertips. And he couldn't believe that he didn't have a turnover or a steal on that one, and just barely flicks off of his fingertips at the other baseline. But it will go back to Clovis.
And I think he got a little too happy. Looked like he had the right position, and it was in the right place, but just could not control the ball, and it went out of bounds.
High pass into the right block to Cox. Sends it to Roche, left corner. Rainbow 3 on the way, and good. Boy, a big hand on the face by Josiah Clay, but Roche still going to drop it through. He's got 8. It's 57-54. Here comes Clay driving through traffic. Finds Wheeler, left corner for 3 off the front of the rim. Ball loose at the free throw line. Gutierrez pulls it down. He's in transition the other way for Clovis. Reverse lamp on the right, rejected by Pena, and pulls it down. Pena now dribbles front court. 4-on-2, down the lane to Vega, right corner. Fakes a 3, slides left, and fires up a 3 anyway. Off the front of the rim, no good. Turbiatis tips it over to the right baseline. Pena's shot's no good. And here comes the rebound for Marvin Cox. That's his 12. Up ahead, and a back shot over the top of the head by Sias on the right side, no good. Tip back up and in by Marvin Cox. He's got 17 points and 13 rebounds, and a timeout on the court. We have got ourselves a 1-point ball game here at Task Arena. 57-56, your Hobbs Eagles by 1. This district is pretty contested. 3:25 remaining in the fourth. Back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. We got a tight one here at Task Arena. Hobbs leading Clovis 57-56, 3:25 left fourth quarter. Another big game going on in the other district matchup, Ron.
Exactly, and it is a tight one with about 5 seconds to go. Looks like Roswell is going to win, and their home court once again. It is right now 57-53, Roswell with the lead. Over Carlsbad.
There we go. That means Roswell could go to 2-0. That would drop Carlsbad to 0-2. Of course, the Eagles have a chance to play Carlsbad next week. Right now, though, they were trying to get a win on their home court, leading by 1 over the Clovis Wildcats, 57-56. Clovis came in with a 14-6 record. The Eagles at 8-13. Clovis at number 9 in the Max Preps Bowl. The Eagles at number 20. Hobbs basketball on the baseline of their backcourt. Vega gets it into Clay in the left corner. Back deep to Vega. Return to Clay. To half court, a sailing pass to Pena is picked off. Taken down by Cox, and a layup on the left side. Actually, that was Johnny Molina. 8 points for him off the layup left, and the Eagles' night turnover. Pass up the near sideline to David. Backdoor to Henderson with another dunk of the night. Double hands over the right rim. That's his third dunk of the ball game. Caught Clovis sleeping. He's got 13, 5 in the fourth quarter. Eagles by 1 once again. Cox in the front court, top of the arc. Sends it back deep to Molina. He drives the lane. Head fake. Bounce it over to Cox in the right corner. He pivots. Up top to Parker. Thought about a three. Jab step. Dribbles to the right elbow. He tries to go through two defenders and passes up top instead to Cox. Dribbles through his legs. Crossover move. Down the lane. Reverse layup left side with two hands. No good. Payton with the long rebound for the Eagles. In transition. Goes to the rack left side and scores high off the glass off the layup. Payton going coast to coast. 15 points. Eagles by 3. 2:20 remaining in the game. Parker in the front court. Top of the circle. Gives it off right side to Cox. Touch pass to Gutierrez right corner. Up top of the arc to Molina. Molina dribbles right. Hands off to Gutierrez. Guarded by Vega. To Parker at the top of the circle. Goes one-on-one against Clay. To Gutierrez, right corner. Fadeaway three and scores it. His second tray of the ball game. Manuel Gutierrez has 6. We're tied at 61. 2-minute warning here at Tasker Arena. Pena spins at the timeline. Double team. And Coach Ross calls a timeout at the baseline. He saw that spin by Payne into a double team, was afraid of a steal, and gets the call. Actually, Ross was on the sideline. Of course, Hobbs Eagles had their bench on the baseline and came over to the sideline near the scorer's table to call that timeout. That's something we saw another coach do against us. It was that Los Lunas, I believe, was doing that a few weeks ago.
Exactly. The other thing I think he was worried about was the backcourt violation. He was really close to the line. All it would have taken was a little bump, and it either would have been a turnover or a backcourt violation. Either way, you don't want to get a turnover this late in the game, especially with it being so tight. Tie game especially. So, Coach, just trying to get back on the offensive side, drop a plan or two, and be able to see if he can make something happen.
And speaking of ties, both teams have only had 9 turnovers in this game. Is that a critical situation there? I mean, both teams playing pretty clean basketball.
They are, and unfortunately, we knew that Clovis would come in here, be able to play good basketball. So far, they've done it. They didn't do it in the second quarter, luckily, but they have come back in the fourth quarter and tied this game up. So it could be anybody's ball game at this point.
Hobbs has 3 in double figures so far. Braylon Vega and Abraham Pena both with 15. Parker Henderson a double-double tonight. He's got 13 and 11 rebounds, so definitely coming on strong for the Eagles. Vega has hit 3 trays. Abraham Pena yet to get a tray, but he's doing some good stuff on the steal and the layup a few minutes ago. Josiah Clay has come off the bench for 2 trays for the Eagles. Amron Wheeler got a tray. Malachi David had a couple of trays, so lots of guys stroking it deep from the outside. 61 all, 1:55 remaining in the fourth. Eagle basketball. It is Vega with the dribble in the front court. On the right wing, a one-hand slop over to Payton to shoot a 3. It's an air ball, might have gotten blocked. Henderson rebounds on the right baseline, but they say he stepped on the line. So that means that will go back to Clovis. Henderson with 12 boards, ended up with a turnover, though, by stepping on the line. That's 10 turnovers for the Eagles. No, they're giving it back to Hobbs.
Yeah, what happened was, you're right, it was blocked, and it went out of bounds, and then Parker Henderson got the ball.
So they're going to say it went out first. Inbound to Vega, right corner. Back deep to Clay. He dribbles a few times and stops and finds Vega again on the right wing. Posting up Henderson, a loose pass high in the air, picked up by Marvin Cox. The Eagles have 10 turnovers now. To Gutierrez in the backcourt, tied at 61, 1:29 remaining. Clay tries to come up and defend him and hips into him, and they call the foul on Clay. Josiah Clay with his 3rd personal, 14th foul. That's 1 away from the bonus for Clovis. Inbounding will be Jaden Cox on the far left sideline near the scores table with 1:28 left. We're tied. Bounce it into Roche left corner. Good D by Henderson. He drives the lane, reverse on the right side, and swishes over the front of the right rim. Put it through as Roche. He's got 10, 6 of those points in the fourth. 2-point Clovis lead. It's been a long while since that's been the case. In the front court is Clay, and Coach Ross on the baseline calling the timeout. We'll keep it. Actually, we'll go back to the station for a quick message here. Your Hobbs Eagles trail by 2 to Clovis, 63-61, 1:11 left, fourth quarter. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Hoops on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Close ball game here at Task Arena. Eagles trying to even their district record to 1-1. Clovis trying to go to 2-0. Roswell's already 2-0 this season. Carlsbad just lost tonight to them. They're 0-2. But it's Hobbs basketball trailing by 2 with 1:11 left. It's going to be Clay inbounding far right sideline front court. Back deep to Vega near the timeline. Parker going to guard him for the Wildcats. Double screen from Henderson and Malachi David. Vega goes baseline, throws a high shot over the rim and scores. Vega now getting back in the scoring book. He's got 17 to lead the Eagles. We're tied at 63. 50 seconds left in the fourth. Gutierrez comes across, hands it off to Cox, top of the circle. Bounce it back door to Parker. He gets rejected by Parker Henderson, and the whistle called. Henderson looked like he got a piece of the Parker kid on the basketball. They're going to call a slide down on the push and 2 shots. So Parker Henderson blocking Parker, the last name of the shooter for Clovis, but he's going to get 2 free throws out of it. That is Henderson's 4th personal.
But we'll see how they do. Clovis has not been doing well on the line. Let's see if they can improve that or get in the lead on this one. It is tied at 63.
Yeah, Ron, 5 of 17 for the charity stripe in this game. Ugly numbers for Clovis. Parker on the line. He is 1 of 3, 33%, has 8 points, and make it 9 with the free throw. These are the critical ones here. We talked about that a couple minutes ago. 5 fouls on the Eagles, so that means Clovis double bonus the rest of the game, the 46 seconds remaining, and Hobbs needs 2 more fouls from Clovis to get themselves into double bonus action. 1 more shot for Parker. He's going to get double digits if he makes it, and he does. He's got 10. He's made his last 3 free throws, and looks like I thought there was going to be a timeout. The ref called for the ball. I'm not sure why he's, a sub coming in. Gutierrez leaves, and looks like Parker returns. Or, excuse me, Cox returns. Inbound to Josiah Clay, down by 2 with 40 seconds remaining. Dribbles across the timeline, far right. Backs it out on the right wing, top of the arc. Gets a screen from Henderson. Over to Vega, left corner, fakes a 3. Returns to Clay. His 3 from the left side. NBA is good! He's nailing trays all over the place tonight. He's got 3. He's got 9 points. Eagles by 1 with 23 seconds remaining. 66-65. Timeout Clovis. Josiah Clay did play a lot against Roswell Tuesday night. But tonight he's got a bunch of trays, and the Eagles are the 1-point lead and 21 seconds remaining, but Clovis ball.
And what we wanted to see was a team effort. I'm thinking we're seeing that right now, offensively, defensively, both sides of the court. We're seeing some great shots going on, and Hobbs, no matter what, I know they've had problems in the past with the fourth quarter, but they are not struggling right now. They're keeping up with this Clovis team, and they're making it worth every second of it to watch.
Should also mention, too, it's not a factor yet, but Hobbs 9 of 12 from the charity stripe for 75%, so their number's a lot better than Clovis. What I like about this game, though, is I see a lot more energy, not hanging the heads. We keep repeating this. Coach Ross emphasized that. You got to play to your potential, not worry about mistakes, get back on your haunches. As soon as that problem happens, get back and play some D, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
And also, not a lot of impossible things going on. Like sometimes they would try to get through 2 defenders, they'd lose the ball. Either way, or they just would lose the ball after they ran across the court, tried to stop, and the ball would just keep going and just sail out of bounds. None of that is going on. None of the turnovers, like you said, only 10. They had 29 just the other day against Roswell. They cleaned that up, and they have definitely improved their chances of winning this game with 21.8 seconds to go.
Yeah, Ron, 9 3-pointers for the Eagles tonight as well. We mentioned big time for Clay that just hit his 3rd of the ball game. Braylon Vegas had 3. Just one after the other. Wheeler 3, 1 tray, and Malachi David a couple of trays. Clovis basketball, inbound to Cox on the left wing. Eagles by 1 with 19. To Roche on the left, or free throw line. He drives the left baseline, throws up a shot, misses high in the air, gets his own rebound, goes up again. Rebound by Parker. He tries to scoop on the right block, and they call the foul. About 3 chances for the scoring in the paint. Wait a second. Are they pointing the other way?
Yes, they are. It's Hobbs' ball.
Yeah, I thought they were going to call that on the scoop shot. They call that against Clovis as they charge the foul to Kalen Parker, which is even worse for Clovis. That's his 5th, if I'm right. Yes, it is. 5 on Parker. That is the 4th team foul, and that is not a double bonus yet.
But they will. 1 more foul. Clovis is probably going to foul him. They got 1 to give, and that'll put him in bonus. But instead, now we're going to get another timeout.
Boy, that was a big turn of events. The official looked like he called against the Eagles because the scoop shot was coming. I guess they're going to say somebody off ball might have cleared somebody out there, which was Parker. But who knows? Referee's having a conversation right now, but Hobbs at the 1-point lead. Still, this game is not in the books yet, Ron. Eagles got to contain the basketball.
It isn't, and this is the best time they've ever had. I mean, before, we've seen them blow the lead with 4 minutes to go. Right now, they've got a great thing going. They've got the possession of the ball, which is great, 11.8 seconds. Clovis is probably going to have to foul him, and Hobbs has been good on the line, so everything is adding up towards the Eagles for a victory.
Right now, 17 for Vega, 15 for Abraham Pena, and 13 for Parker Henderson. Those three in double digits. Josiah Clay trying to get there. He's got 9 on 3 trays, so lots of people stepping up. Malachi David has a couple of trays for 6, and so lots of people want to have a W here at home to even their district record. Right now for Clovis, it's Marvin Cox. He's got 17 points and 13 rebounds so far, so he's a double-double for Clovis. We should also mention, too, again, Parker Henderson a double-double, 13 points and 12 rebounds. Probably one of his better games of the season, the big kid for the Hobbs Eagles. 11.8 seconds remaining. Hobbs is going to have to go 3 quarters of the court. They'll have it in the back corner on the far right sideline with a 1-point lead. Just under 12 seconds left. 66-65. They get it inbound. Bounces it into Clay on the half-court line. Comes across, gets pushed by Roche. He tried to pass, but that will be the 5th foul regardless for a double bonus. Timeout will be called as well. Roche will pick, or do they get the timeout first? Oh, Lord, that's not going to be a foul. That's going to be a timeout. Coach Ross called that right before the foul, and that means that will not be a double bonus.
Exactly, not yet. But on the other hand, what this means is if Clovis doesn't get the ball right away, Hobbs can burn off some more of that clock and be able to, get on the foul line. I'm sure Clovis will try to foul.
Well, that's the problem with that timeout, though, is Clay was trying to pass it down the lane, which he probably would have made a connection for a layup there. But you missed the foul, and you also missed the layup, and now you have a timeout, and you have to reset up a play.
And unfortunately, sometimes when you're a coach, you second guess. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. That may have been a wrong call. However, in his mind, he thought, look, we have a better chance of getting a reset on the ball and burning a little bit more of that clock before Clovis gets the ball back.
Still, one more foul will put him in double bonus, which is important. We mentioned Hobbs at 75% so far, 9 of 12. The guys in the game, Vega 2 for 2. Abraham Pena is 3 for 4. He's 75%. So a couple of guys that can stroke it through the free throw line right now. Parker Henderson, he is 3 for 4. So a bunch of guys have been doing pretty decent on the line that are in there right now.
Exactly. They can put it to anybody, and rest assured that they're going to get some good action on the line.
Vega on the right baseline underneath the Hobbs Eagle hoop, up by 1, 9.5 seconds remaining. Do not throw it towards the half-court line, please. Vega looking for some people backing up. Spinning and rotating, looking for help. Vega has to send it back deep, and Payne had to jump for it on that far right sideline. Dangerous throw there, and quickly fouled by Gutierrez. Took about a minute or a second and a half there, 7.6 remaining, as Gutierrez will get the foul for Clovis to stop the clock. That's his 4th. 15 foul, and Payne on the line. We just mentioned his numbers at the line so far, 3 for 4. He's got 15 points, and kind of ironic, too, that he has not had a three-pointer in this game, usually one of the tops on the team, but we just need free throws right now.
But he had a slam dunk just earlier in this game. He also had some great offense and defensive plays.
Just made his 3rd free throw in a row, puts that one down, 16 points for Pena and a 2-point Eagle lead. Definitely would love to get this one because if Clovis came down and threw a long shot, it only tied the ball game. Big free throw coming for Pena with 7.6 remaining is up, and it's good. He's got them both, 17. 3-point lead for Hobbs with 7.6 remaining. Gutierrez lets it roll, picks it up near half court with 6, 5. Hands off, right wing. Jalen Cox for 3 off the side of the rim. Roche goes up with a scoop shot at the buzzer, but that is not enough. Count the basket, but Clovis has lost to the Hobbs Eagles here at Tasker, 68-67. Roche forgot that he was down by 3, got the bucket and the rebound, but not going to be enough. Parker Henderson has got his hand up in the air, did not come down on him. Good decision, because if he would have fouled him, Ron, that could have been a 3-point play to tie it.
Exactly, and luckily, that's the reason why we love this team. Sometimes they play really smart, and that was the smartest thing they could do. Go ahead and give him that 2-point shot. You knew it was not going to come up for a victory for Clovis, and that's what happened.
68-67, your Hobbs Eagles picking up their first district win to go to 1-1. Clovis drops to 1-1. Eagles improve overall to 9-13, and Clovis drops to 14-7. The number 20 Eagles in the Max Preps poll upset number 9 Clovis. We'll come back in 3 minutes on the Hobbs Eagle postgame show live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Welcome back to Task Arena. Your Hobbs Eagles victorious to go 1-1 in district with their first district win as they pick up the victory over the Clovis Wildcats, 68-67. The game went down to the wire, Ron, and of course the Eagles trailing in the first quarter, 24-17, but turned the tables in the second quarter, outscoring Clovis and leading by 6 at the half. They dumped in 17 points in the third quarter and went up 51-46, up by 5, and then finished up the ball game in great fashion. Hobbs getting a total of 27 points in that fourth quarter. Is that correct? No, sorry, 17, right? 17 points. And, of course, 21, though, for Clovis in a furious comeback, but not enough to beat the Eagles. Clovis did score at the last second on a scoop shot. Parker Henderson went up strong. Did not come down on the layup guy there on the right block. Luckily didn't come down on him because he made the shot. If he would have fouled him, that could have been a free throw to tie the game at the buzzer. They wouldn't even had any rebounds on it. We'd have gone to overtime. But good job for Henderson to stand up straight. By the way, the big kid with 13 points and 12 rebounds, a double-double tonight for the Eagles.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic in a way because Henderson has been having a little bit of a control problems on certain times where he is called for that foul is whether he bodies into him or just kind of hits him, whatever, awkwardly. He set it up right, like you said. He made sure that he did not give that foul, did not give Clovis a chance to tie the game. And once that 2-point shot went in, everybody, all the Hobbs fans and all the Hobbs players knew that that was the game, and they had won. They became victorious.
Yeah, definitely a good decision on his part. Also had 3 dunks in this game, and Abraham Payne even had one, so 4 dunks for the Eagles.
Right, exactly. And the energy, the intensity, we talked about it at the beginning of the game. We wanted to see him come out here and be able to take it to this team that was 14-6. Now they're 14-7. And they are ranked number 9th. Hobbs at 20th right now. And, Hobbs is going to be very happy, but still, they've got a lot of work ahead of them. They still have to worry about Carlsbad next. And then, of course, around again to Roswell. Clovis, they got to face him one more time, even though they've won about let's see, it was 15 games in a row for them. And so, they've got Clovis's number, but still, that doesn't necessarily mean they can beat him every chance they get, especially when they go up to Clovis.
Looking at the numbers in this game, first of all, for the Clovis Wildcats, 3 in double figures. Marvin Cox a double-double in the contest. He had 17 points, 13 rebounds. Unfortunately, though, for him, his free throw shooting was not where it needed to be. 3 of 8 from the charity stripe, so that kind of a unraveling for the Clovis Wildcats. It could use every single free throw to get the win, although they lost by 1 of the Eagles. Max Roche had 12 points. He went 1 of 3 from the charity stripe, had 6 rebounds. He was the guy that had the scoop shot for the last points for Clovis. It was also Kalen Parker finishing with 10 points. He was 3 of 5 from the line for 60% and 2 rebounds. So those 3 in double figures in terms of Cox, Roche, and Parker as they combined for 39 of the 68 points or 67 points for the Clovis Wildcats. Johnny Molina had 8 points, 0 for 1 on the line with 3 rebounds. Manuel Gutierrez had a couple of trays for 6 points and 6 boards as well. Jaden Cox hit a bucket for 2. And a total of 7 scores for Clovis. Free throw shooting was not very good tonight for the Wildcats. They're pretty much the reason they lost this game, I would say. 8 for 19 for 42%. Didn't even hit the 50 half mark there. Not a lot of problems with ball handling, though. 9 turnovers only. Didn't even get to double digits there. And they out-rebounded the Eagles 33-28, mostly thanks to Marvin Cox's 13 rebounds, 6 apiece for Roche and Gutierrez. That kept them in the game as much as possible in this contest. So 7 3-pointers converted as well for Clovis in a losing cause tonight. 3 of those for J.J. Sice, although all 3 of those coming in the first quarter, nothing after that.
Right.
Manuel Gutierrez hit a couple for the Wildcats as well, and also 1 apiece for Parker and Roche. So a whole list of guys getting a chance to shoot the stroke from the outside. Your Hobbs Eagles with their big win tonight, again 68-67. They finished with 3 in double figures as well. Braylon Vega, 17 points, 3 trays, and perfect on the charity stripe, 2 for 2. Also had a rebound. Abraham Pena finished with 17 points. That was without a 3-pointer in the game. And, of course, his free throw shooting critical with those 2 in the fourth quarter to put them into their final margin. 4 for 6 on the line for him, and he finished up with 2 rebounds. So those 2, Vega and Pena, both with 17. Also, Parker Henderson, a double-double tonight, 13 points, 12 rebounds, and also got 3 of 4 free throw shooting. Again, very critical free throws for this team that wins by 1. Going on with the Eagles scoring, close to double figures, 1 point shy. Josiah Clay coming off the bench for 3 trays and 9 points. Had 4 rebounds and put a spark on this club. Had a very critical couple of trays in the fourth quarter. It was 6 for Malachi David. Yes, the big man had his points from trays tonight, both coming from the perimeter. Also 3 rebounds. Amron Wheeler coming off the bench, the kid that started, or not started, but got time against Roswell, getting his second chance in a varsity uniform, hit a tray for 3. Jairus Turbiatis, a quiet night for him. He did have 3, 1 of 2 free throw shooting, and 4 rebounds. The Hobbs Eagles had 7 scorers, 11 of 14 from the line for 78%. Definitely the difference in this close ball game. Every free throw counted and got them the victory they needed in this contest. They had 9 trays in the game. We mentioned a bunch of those, 3 apiece for Vega and Josiah Clay to lead the squad. A couple for David and Wheeler putting 1 down for the Eagles as well. Hobbs only 10 turnovers. That is 8 less than their average for game for the season. They average 18 and they really cleaned it up, especially when you compare it to Roswell game where they had 29. So
Exactly.
things were looking a lot better as this one transpired. And again, very big game. It's hard to play perfect in front of a home crowd. Everything's expectations out there. They're mad. You lost to Roswell Tuesday. We don't want this to be an 0 for district season. People looking at the history like we did earlier. How many seasons do they have? Single-digit wins and under 500 records. But hey, when you get even up your district record at 1-1 and make it look a little bit brighter for the hopes of the district tournament and maybe even district championship, it doesn't matter what records are. The W's toward the end of the season really count.
And a great coach once said, all you have to do is win by 1 point, which is how Hobbs did. They were able to win by 1 point, and they were able to get that kind of monkey off their back as far as being able to win important games. They were unable to do it against Roswell, but they have another chance to get back to them with Roswell. And this was a big one because ninth-ranked team. They've been doing really well against ranked teams. I think this is going to motivate them to do better. Next, of course, is a week off before they go back to Carlsbad. Carlsbad is always a tough game, even though they're 0-2. That does not matter because what Carlsbad brings is a stall and a very defensive game, so you have to get around that somehow to be able to get more points than Carlsbad.
Also, Hobbs had that pickoff victory on Los Lunas, who's now ranked 10th. So they picked off a 9, they pick off a 10, and that does help you when it comes to seeding time that they see these W's against some ranked squads. Did you have a final on that? You did have the final of the Carlsbad boys game, did you not?
Yes. It was the final 57-55. Carlsbad came back with 1 second left. They had a timeout going, but they could not do anything with it. So Roswell ends up winning it 57-55. Once again, Roswell 2-0. Carlsbad 0-2. We were hoping that maybe that Carlsbad could disrupt it a little bit, but Hobbs did what they needed to do, though. They got the victory here. They got the 8th victory in a row against Clovis. I said 15, but that was actually for the girls. The girls have had 16 wins in a row against the Lady Wildcats, and that's also impressive.
What's their score tonight?
Their score actually was impressive as well. 72-42. You know they were going to come in there, steamroll against this Lady Wildcats, even though the Wildcats actually had a really good record for the season so far. But, Hobbs once again has been proving that they can win those games and win them big.
So the Eagles winning tonight, close one, 68-67. They go to 9-13 on the season, 1-1 in district. We mentioned Carlsbad next up on the schedule for the Eagles. Carlsbad with a loss tonight is 12-10 overall. And, of course, kind of a seesaw type of team. You'll see them over the last couple of seasons picking off some teams but then losing to some people that they shouldn't have. They've played some of the same teams the Eagles did. Lost to Rio Rancho worse than Hobbs did. Hobbs lost by 2. They lost to them by 11. They lost to Los Lunas by 13, a team that we just mentioned. Hobbs picked them off a few weeks ago, so that's a different difference on that one. They got rattled by Volcano Vista, top team in the state, 59-40, so losing by 19 to them. They got a win against Del Norte, one of the squads up there in Albuquerque, 53-30 by 23. Beat Mayfield by 12, a team that beat the Hobbs Eagles, so that goes in Carlsbad's favor. Lost to Artesia by 17. That's a team the Eagles beat. Very close game just about a week or so ago. Lost again to Rio Rancho by 1, so they played them twice. Beat Artesia in their second turnaround against them by 4. Of course, that's a rival game with those two teams out of Eddy County. Lost by 6 to Oregon Mountain, who's ranked second in the state, so that's a pretty close game there. Beat Centennial by 10. Yeah, that's a game down in Las Cruces. So different sprinkles of the same teams that the Eagles have picked up against. But right now, Tuesday night on the road, of course, not an easy game to play in Carlsbad. We'll have that live for you on the radio.
Friday night,
on the radio and the internet. So, again, you put the W's in the books, but you look forward to the next game, and they got to get themselves prepared for the Carlsbad. A little bit different type of style than we're going to see with this Clovis team.
Exactly, and what they have to do is come out here and don't play like you did against Roswell. Play more like you did against Clovis, and make sure you definitely understand that Carlsbad is going to play tough defense, especially at home. They always do that, and they make you work for every single shot. And, of course, it's probably going to come down once again to who can do the free throws, who's going to be better at the line.
Once again, final score tonight, 68-67. Your Hobbs Eagles with the win over Clovis. We will be back with you on Friday night. Was that a week away?
That's a week away, a whole week.
7 days of practice for the Eagles as they prepare. We'll have the pregame show Friday, 6:45, tip-off at 7. Of course, the Hobbs Lady Eagles will be at home here on Friday, next Friday, against Carlsbad, the Cave Girls here at Tasker Arena. Before we take off, I'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle Broadcast, both on the radio and the internet.
Exactly. We would like to thank First American Bank of Hobbs, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, Elite Home Healthcare, Lee County State Bank, Lasco Construction, TDS, Thriftway, NMR Pipeline, The Model, The Coffee House, Devon Energy, Upper Sand Media and Design, Hydrotech Services, and Divine Energy Services. Without you guys, we would not be on the radio or on the internet.
I'd like to thank Evie Stuber back at the station. For Ron Gunner, myself, Ty Friend, Jessica Friend on the scoreboard tonight. Hobbs Eagles victorious, and we'll see you next Friday as they head to Carlsbad. Have a great rest of a weekend out there.